Hey Scott. Hey Harper. Mic check. Too loud, too soft. You heard about Harry? Yeah. Hey family. Hey Tracy. Hey Millie. Hey Ashley. Um, I don't think we're doing debates today. I'm not really in the headspace for it. Hey Layla. We're gonna do news, maybe some discussions, bring up some friendlies. Hey Chloe. Hey Sid. With the sun. I love Tesla. Hey Barbie. Hey Rome. Hey Ethan. A little bit, y'all. Hey Tyro. Open a poke pack for the pre-show. I don't feel like getting up. You'll have that little man sitting on your microphone. I need to learn how to do graphics like that. That little man is our Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. Hey, Clutch. Okay. So I'm thinking do a cutout of AOC of the AOC clip I sent you and put both of them up there. Lady interviewer was very rude to him. He doesn't know how to tell her to stop interrupting him. Um, show Lil Teeny Tiny Rubes and his cowlick some respect. Get your taxes done? No. I got 3 weeks. Hopefully this Sunday I'll start them. Hey, Corky. No, I'm not muted. I'm just not. I'm not just not vocalizing. Do you think there's legitimate comparisons you could make between Harry Sisson and historical figures like Nelson Mandela and Adolf Hitler from an indigenous standpoint? That's not a real question, right? That that's like you remember ad libs where they're like, we need an adjective, we need a noun, like Mad Libs. Thank you, Mad Libs. What do you mean? I used the question mark. Yo, I just got trolled. Uh, hey Simi. Wait, no, hold on. Friendlies. That's Friendlies, the restaurant. Friendlies. Hey Dan, did you see AOC and Bernie were live with Hassan? That's huge. Um, I'm not even sure that's the first time. I think they've done that before. You forgot Play Mario on your list there. Um, Look, yesterday. Um, so like 4 months ago, I ordered a Walmart drop off order for groceries, and I got my order, but I think got someone else's order, and it was a bunch of like refrigerated stuff. So they didn't want it back because first of all it's been in another person's hands, and second of all they don't know how long it's been out of the fridge. So so there was a bunch of stuff in there that like I've never made before. One of which was pork chops, and they've been in my freezer for the past 4 months. I finally cooked them yesterday. Hey Liam. Hey Neely. Um, how's your day been? It's been okay. Just about ready to start. All right. Oh wait, I have an idea. You seen that Canadian woman that they held for 2 weeks? No, I haven't. Hi Adela. Damn. Probably too much. I'd have to shrink the letters. If I guess maybe. How's that look? Awful, right? Well, definitely. Oh, well, hold on. It definitely looks awful on YouTube and Twitch. I'm trying to make it look okay for YouTube. We'll try this another time. They held her in ICE detention for 2 weeks, even though she had documentation. Wild. Wait, what happened to Barbie? Oh, too many dots. A lot of dots. Okay. I'm gonna go live. Hey, Unworn. Bro just left us hanging. How were the pork chops? Oh, they were good. It's been a while since I've cooked, so. Don't forget to watch your Twitchies and YouTubers every 3 hours or so. You cooked fresh maggot yesterday. What you talking about? Yeah, I gotta post some clips from that live. Okay, we are live on TikTok.
And now I am here. Hey.
Hey, Neely. Hey, Ez. Thank you for the heart me, Aaron. If you ever need a good
Hi again,
pancake
Dan.
brand, use Kodiak. They're pretty good. Yeah, I've had them.
LMAO, why is Marco Rubio on your arm?
He's not on my arm. He's on my microphone. Thank you for the heart me's, everybody.
Kodiak is so good. Dan George Soros told me he might stop funding if there's any more late starts.
Ooh, damn it.
How are you?
Well, okay. What if we switch to conservative? Can we start later if I contact the Koch brother? How are you? I'm doing all right, Aaron. How are you? Are you MAGA now?
Soros is a stickler for punctuality.
That sounds like a computer.
Hey, Dan.
Well, I mean, it makes sense because
everything's computer.
Hey, mate.
Hey, Rose. Hey, Chris. Hey, Stephanie.
I love TESLUR.
I love Tesla.
I love Tesla.
Thank you, Penelope, for the roses.
I found Marco. Hi, Dan.
Hey, Leah.
It's so unfortunate Valve released the Steam Deck after the Stream Deck came out. Did you see Brett and Johnny battled?
No, I saw that you sent me the live, but I just didn't have a chance to watch.
One key opens both doors.
True. All right, what do we want to do first here?
Hey, Dan. Hey, Dan. At Rose, did you
Hey,
see
Patty.
No
Hey,
Rads
Graham.
and Johnny battle? News.
Tell truth? Ed, you came to the wrong place. All we
Could
do
we
here
talk
is
about
liberal
Jasmine Mooney?
propaganda.
Hello, Dan.
We talk about Jasmine Mooney? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, for everyone to roll in.
At Antelope Jones, I did. That was insane.
Antelope Jones.
Will we discuss Harry at some point? Good evening, Dan. At Rose, it was insane. I was so proud of no rads.
If we have to, Tracy. I invited one of the girls to come up if she wanted to and just like speak her truth. And if that happens, then yeah, I'll speak on it. But I don't really know Harry like that. I don't know if I'm obligated to speak on it.
At Antelope Jones, I've never seen numbers like that. Look over there. What's that? Don't make me put this in the suggestion box. How many trucks? Part 2. Dan, you're the coolest.
Oh, thank you.
That's a good point and fair. There is no war in Ba Sing Se.
Hey, Chloe. Hey, Mary. How many years will it take to recover from Trump's administration? Depending on how successful Trump is, anywhere between 15 and 45.
Decades. At Rose, I am a manager in an agency for TikTok, so I have seen bigger, but it was amazing.
Thank you for the heart, means
At
everybody.
Barbie, I finally watched that right before the live. That was amazing. Harry is not an elected official, so other than the girls speaking their truth, I am not interested. We can never have anything good. At Neely, the best. At Antelope Jones, what's the highest you've seen?
Okay. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. I'm not really in a headspace
Smile, Dan.
for debates tonight. Smile, Dan. Yeah. I'm not really in a headspace for debates tonight, so we're just gonna take an
The
easier.
right thinks they have the right to pass judgment on Harry when they voted for a grappus BTW.
Oh yeah. Listen, that I'll comment on. I want this to be clear. Okay. I want this to be clear. Not a single person that voted for Donald Trump in the years 2024 have any right to judge Harry Sisson. Okay, we got to leave that to the people with empathy and morals. Okay, we can talk about Harry. They really can't talk about Harry. They voted for a rapist. Let's be clear here. Did you see that Russia violated the ceasefire hours after it was signed? Laugh my ass off. Oh, great. Okay. Turn off text to speech. We're gonna do some news. We're gonna do some news. Hi, you haven't been on my FYP in so long. Damn, being shadow banned. TikTok hates me ever since I posted that video about how TikTok is robbing us. All right, we're gonna do some news. Okay, first, we're gonna read about Jasmine Mooney. I have a question. What's your question, Valerie? Second. My TikTok was banned yesterday. In general, or from my live? At the same time, so was Facebook. Oh, that's weird. Would you rather unlimited keys but no doors, or unlimited doors but no? Oh God. Okay. I'm the Canadian who was detained by ICE for 2 weeks. It felt like I had been kidnapped. Valerie, I don't know. That might be a coincidence. What did they tell you got banned for? I was stuck in a freezing cell without explanation, despite eventually having lawyers and media attention. Yet compared with others, I was lucky. There was no explanation, no warning. 1 minute, I was in an immigration office talking to an officer about my work visa, which had been approved months before and allowed me, a Canadian, to work in the US. The next, I was told to put my hands against the wall and patted down like a criminal before being sent to an ICE detention center without the chance to talk to my lawyer. I grew up in Whitehorse, Yukon, a small town in the northwestern part of Canada. I always knew I wanted to do something bigger with my life. I left home early and moved to Vancouver, British Columbia, where I built a career spanning multiple industries, acting in film, television, owning bars and restaurants, flipping condos, and managing Airbnbs. In my 30s, I found my true passion working in the health and wellness industry. I was given the opportunity to help launch an American brand of health tonics called Holy Water, a job that would involve moving to the US. I was granted my trade NAFTA work visa, which allows Canadian and Mexican citizens to work in the US in specified professional occupations on my second attempt. It goes without saying then that I have no criminal record. I also love the US and consider myself to be a kind, hardworking person. Oof, that doesn't fit in with United States values, apparently, nowadays. I started working in California and traveled back and forth between Canada and the US multiple times without any complications. Until one day, upon returning to the US, a border officer questioned me about my initial visa denial and subsequent visa approval. He asked why I had gone to the San Diego border the second time to apply. I explained that there was excuse me. I explained that was where my lawyer's offices were and that he had wanted to accompany me to ensure there were no issues. On a side note, when I don't know if I was in like the 6th grade or 7th grade when I realized that isn't a typo and that's actually how certain sentences can be formed. That, you know, because it's two different that's. Anyway. After a long interrogation, the officers told me it seemed shady, quote unquote, and that my visa hadn't been properly processed. He claimed I also couldn't work for a company in the US that made use of hemp, one of the beverage ingredients. He revoked my visa and told me I could still work for the company from Canada, but if I wanted to return to the US, I would need to reapply. I was devastated. I had just started building a life in California. I stayed in Canada for the next few months and was eventually offered a similar position with a different health and wellness brand. I restarted the visa process and returned to the same immigration office at the San Diego border since they had processed my visa before and I was familiar with it. Hours passed with many confused opinions about my case. The officer I spoke to was kind but told me that due to my previous issues, I needed to apply for my visa through the consulate. I told her I hadn't been aware I needed to apply that way, but had no problem doing it. Then she said something strange. You didn't do anything wrong. You are not in trouble. You are not a criminal. I remember thinking, why would she say that? Of course I'm not a criminal. She then told me they had to send me back to Canada. That didn't concern me. I assumed I would simply book a flight home. But as I sat searching for flights, a man approached me. Come with me, he said. There was no explanation, no warning. He led me to a room, took my belongings from my hand, and ordered me to put my hands against the wall. A woman immediately began patting me down. The commands came rapid fire, one after another, too fast to process. They took my shoes and pulled out my shoelaces. What are you doing? What is happening? I asked. You were being detained. I don't understand. What does that mean? For how long? I don't know. That was the response to nearly every question I would ask over the next 2 weeks. I don't know. They brought me downstairs for a series of interviews and medical questions, searched my bags, and told me I had to get rid of half my belongings because I couldn't take everything with me. Take everything with me where? I asked. A woman asked me for the name of someone they could contact on my behalf. In moments like this, you realize you don't actually know anyone's phone number anymore. By some miracle, I had recently memorized my friend Britt's number because I had been putting my grocery points on her account. I gave them her phone number. Yeah, this is true. I only know 2 phone numbers, period. Which is my mom and my brother. I don't even know my dad's phone number. And the only reason I know my brother's phone number The only reason I know my brother's phone number is because I used to call him back when he was dorming for college, and I would wait until after 9 p.m. when we had free minutes. Do y'all? I know Gen Zers don't know what I'm talking about, but back in my day, when you had a cell phone plan, you had a certain amount of minutes, and then after 9 p.m. you could call, and it's free minutes. So I would wait and call at like 9:01 on the dot, because I wanted to catch up with my brother, and sometimes I'd go to voicemail. And the voicemail lady would be like, "You have reached the voicemail box of," and then they'd say my brother's phone number, and so I remembered it because of how many times like I've heard that. For reference, my brother is 7 years older than me, so he went to college when he was 19. I was like 12, 13 years old. Hey Nick, I've been all right. How are you? Okay, sorry, got off track. They handed me a mat and a folded up sheet of aluminum foil. What is this? Your blanket. I don't understand. I was taken to a tiny freezing cement cell with bright fluorescent lights and a toilet. There were 5 other women lying on their mats with the aluminum sheets wrapped over them, looking like dead bodies. The guard locked the door behind me. For 2 days, we remained in that cell, only leaving briefly for food. The lights never turned off. We never knew what time it was, and no one answered our questions. No one in the cell spoke English, so I either tried to sleep or meditate to keep from having a breakdown. I didn't trust the food, so I fasted, assuming I wouldn't be there long. On the 3rd day, I was finally allowed to make a phone call. I called Britt and told her they didn't let her call anyone until the 3rd day. I called Britt and told her that I didn't understand what was happening and that no one would tell me when I was going home and that she was my only contact. They gave me a stack of paperwork to sign and told me I was given a 5-year ban unless I applied for re-entry through the consulate. Bro, she was planning on doing that. What'd she do to end up there? She literally just applied for a work visa. The officer also said it didn't matter whether I signed the papers or not, it was happening regardless. I was so delirious that I just signed. I told them I would pay for my flight home and asked when I could leave. No answer. Then they moved me to another cell, this time with no mat or blanket. I sat on the freezing cement floor for hours. That's when I realized that they were processing me into real jail, the Otay Mesa Detention Center. I was told to shower, given a jail uniform, fingerprinted, and interviewed. I begged for information. How long will I be here? I don't know your case, the man said. Could be days, could be weeks, but I'm telling you right now, you need to mentally prepare yourself for months. Months. I felt like I was going to throw up. I was taken to the nurse's office for a medical check. She asked what had happened to me. She had never seen a Canadian there before. When I told her my story, she grabbed my hand and said, "Do you believe in God?" I told her that I had only recently found God, but that I now believed in God more than anything. I believe God brought you here for a reason, she said. I know it feels like your life is in a million pieces, but you will be okay. Through this, I think you are going to find a way to help others. Let me see how much longer this is. Okay, we're not gonna read the whole thing. I'm gonna skip to the end here. Through them, I learned, with nothing to do in my cell but talk, I made new friends. Women who had risked everything for the chance at a better life for themselves and their families. Through them, I learned the harsh reality of seeking asylum, showing me their physical scars. They explained how they had paid smugglers anywhere from $20,000 to $60,000 to reach the U.S. border, enduring brutal jungles and horrendous conditions. One woman had been offered asylum in Mexico within 2 weeks, but had been encouraged to keep going to the U.S. Now she was stuck, living in a nightmare, separated from her young children for months. She sobbed, telling me how she felt like the worst mother in the world. Many of these women were highly educated and spoke multiple languages, yet they had been advised to pretend they didn't speak English because it would supposedly increase their chances of asylum. What? Some believe they were being used as examples, as warnings to others to try not to come. As warnings to others not to try to come. Women were starting to panic in this new facility, and knowing I was most likely the first person to get out, they wrote letters and messages for me to send to their families. It felt like we had all been kidnapped, thrown into some sort of psychological experiment meant to strip us of every ounce of strength and dignity. We were from different countries, spoke different languages, and practiced different religions. Yet in this place, none of that mattered. Everyone took care of each other. Everyone shared food. Everyone held each other when someone broke down. Everyone fought to keep each other's hope alive. I got a message from Britt. My story had started to blow up in the media. Almost immediately after, I was told I was being released. My ICE agent, who had never spoken to me, told my lawyer I could have left sooner if I had signed a withdrawal form, and that they hadn't known I would pay for my own flight home. Oh my God. From the moment I arrived, I begged every officer I saw to let me pay for my own ticket home. Not a single one of them spoke to me about my case. To put things into perspective, I had a Canadian passport, lawyers, resources, media attention, friends, family, and even politicians advocating for me, yet I was still detained for nearly 2 weeks. Imagine what this system is like for every other person in there. A small group of us were transferred back to San Diego at 2 a.m., one last road trip. Once again, shackled in chains. I was taken to the airport where 2 officers were waiting for me. The media was there, so the officers snuck me in through a side door, trying to avoid anyone seeing me in restraints. I was beyond grateful that, at the very least, I didn't have to walk through an airport in chains. To my surprise, the officers escorting me were incredibly kind and even funny. It was the first time I had laughed in weeks. I asked if I could put my shoelaces back on. Yes, one of them said with a grin. But you better not run. Yeah, the other one added, or we'll tackle you in the airport. That'll really make the headlines. I laughed, then told them I had spent a lot of time observing the guards during my detention, and I couldn't believe how often I saw humans treating other humans with such disregard. But don't worry, I joked, you two get 5 stars. When I finally landed in Canada, my mom and 2 best friends were waiting for me. So was the media. I spoke to them briefly, numb and delusional from exhaustion. It was surreal listening to my friends recount everything they had done to get me out, working with lawyers, reaching out to the media, making endless calls to detention centers, desperately trying to get through to ICE or anyone who could help. They said the entire system felt rigged, designed to make it nearly impossible for anyone to get out. The reality became clear. ICE detention isn't just a bureaucratic nightmare, it's a business. These facilities are privately owned and run for profit. Companies like CoreCivic and GEO Group receive government funding based on the number of people they detain, which is why they lobby for stricter immigration policies. It's a lucrative business. CoreCivic made over $560 million from ICE contracts in a single year. In 2024, GEO Group made more than $763 million from ICE contracts. The more detainees, the more money they make. It stands to reason that these companies have no incentive to release people quickly. What I had experienced was finally starting to make sense. This is not just my story. It is the story of thousands and thousands of people still trapped in a system that profits from their suffering. I am writing in the hope that someone out there, someone with the power to change any of this, can help do something. The strength I witnessed in those women, the love they gave despite their suffering, is what gives me faith. Faith that no matter how flawed the system is, how cruel the circumstances, humanity will always shine through. Even in the darkest places within the most broken systems, humanity persists. Sometimes it reveals itself in the smallest, most unexpected acts of kindness, a shared meal, a whispered prayer, a hand reaching out in the dark. We are defined by the love we extend, the courage we summon, and the truths we are willing to tell. Damn, this is well written. Yeah, it's on The Guardian. The guy in the comments is saying she's an actress. There is an actress named Jasmine Mooney. Same person. It does actually look like it might be the same person. Oh, wait a second. Hold on. She's not. She was in an American Pie video. Oh, but they're saying she's faking? Yeah, so by actress, she was in like an American Pie short. She also said it in the article. When she moved to Vancouver, she built a career spanning multiple industries, acting in film and television, owning bars and restaurants, flipping condos, and managing Airbnbs. Like, this is a well-off person. That was part of the reason that this is so near the end, when she pointed out, she's like, I have lawyers, I had the media on my side, and I was still held for 2 weeks. Imagine the women that have none of that. Not sure she was in an actual movie. Was she? It says Canadian who was in an American Pie video. That's just what what's it called? That's what New York Times said. I don't know if they're downplaying it. Who was she in American Pie 2? So because she acted, her story is a lie. Oh, I mean, anyone that immediately says a story like this is a lie are, you know, these are the same people that are going to move the goalpost. When they find out that it's not a lie, they're going to be like, well, it doesn't matter. She should have came here legally. And then when they find out that she did come here legally, they're going to say, well, we should have fewer people on visas. They're going to move the goalpost no matter what. They got to start the goalpost really, really far in the front, right? They got to start by saying, oh, it's fake. It's a fake story. And when it's proven it's not fake, it's like, oh, well, she should have came legally. And when it's proven she came legally, it's like, oh, well, we shouldn't be taking people with visas. Those are the types of people. Those people are keeping us behind in society, by the way. The absolute dregs on society. Okay. You know what we're going to do? We are going to... We're going to play a video that I think is really important.
And President Trump, I'm a firm...
We played it yesterday, okay? But this is so important.
And President Trump...
that I think we need to play it again.
I'm a firm believer that President Trump will run and win again in 2028. So I've already endorsed President Trump. Got him now. He's on fire, and I'm a huge supporter. Want to see him again in 2028.
And obviously, anybody who doesn't like what you say but judges it as a function of a lack of intelligence doesn't know anything about you. I don't make that mistake. You're a smart guy. You know he's term limited. How do you think he gets another term?
We're working on it. I think we'll have a couple of alternatives. Let's say that. We'll see. We'll see what the definition. We'll see what the definition of term. We'll see what the definition of term limit is.
All right. Well, so you're talking about litigating this issue, because I don't want people to listen to our interview and say Bannon's cooking up an insurrection. Bannon is cooking up. You know what I mean? I want people to get a straight take on where your head is. What are you suggesting?
Chris, as you know, I've had greater long shots than this. When we supported President Trump after the election, I realize you don't believe the election of 2020 was stolen. We do. We fervently believe that. When President Trump went back to Mar-a-Lago on January 20th, 2021, he was the longest of long shots to return to the White House. We said that day in our podcast and doubled down, having President Trump's back, that he was coming back not just to win the primary, he would win the White House, and we had to get organized and drive that victory, and also start working on all the policies, what's called Project 2025 or the America First Policy Institute, but all those different think tanks that started putting in the policies that you're seeing today in what we call Flood the Zone or Days of Thunder or however you want to describe it. But this is many years in the making. So we've had greater long shots than Trump 2028, and we've got a lot of stuff we're working on there. We're not prepared to talk about it publicly, but in a couple of months, I think we will be.
But you are not suggesting revolution or overthrow or anything that people would condemn.
Chris, we just won one of the biggest sweeping victories. We're in the middle of a 1932 type realignment. If we can continue on and continue to have populist policies, populist.
Quiet part out loud. We are in the middle of a 1932 realignment. That's what he said in response to if they are planning a revolution or an overthrow. We are in the middle of a 1932 realignment. Can you please play that for every Trump supporter? Well, they like this.
I love Tesla.
And Tesla. Thank you, Goonies. That's the problem is they like this. They're cool with this. It's not the quiet part anymore. No, I don't think it was the quiet part. The moment that this guy and Elon just started doing the Nazi salute, like, this shit isn't quiet anymore. Not by a long shot. So much to unpack on that clip. It's not even over.
nationalist policies. We have African American men
analogy.
Coming to our side. We have Hispanics coming to our side. So no, we're huge believers in democracy because we know how to get votes out. We know how to get low propensity, low information voters out to support the president's policies. And President Trump, I'm a firm believer that President Trump will run and win.
I think it replayed.
And President Trump,
Okay. Hey, if you're not following me on YouTube, remember TikTok might get banned on April 5th. Make sure you're following YouTube on YouTube and Twitch. Links in my bio. We're gonna go through the news by clearing out my tabs. What is this? Memorandum for all department employees, reviving the federal death penalty and lifting the moratorium on federal executions. I don't even remember clicking this open, but okay. Are you on Substack? Not yet. Not yet. Isaiah Martin is running for Congress. If you'd like to donate to his campaign, isaiahmartin.org. Oil prices slide on jitters over Trump's tariffs and OPEC increases. The international benchmark fell to its lowest point since 2021 after a decision by Saudi Arabia and other producers to pump more crude oil. Surprise the markets. Reminder, OPEC controls fuel prices.
Stupid people. I'm blowing out my left arm. Now I'm going to blow out my right arm, and I'm blowing out my damn throat, too.
Arlington Cemetery strips content on black and female veterans from website. I would love for just one maggot to come up and defend this. Just one. Arlington National Cemetery has scrubbed from its website information and educational materials about the history of black and female service members. Some of the content removed from the site was on veterans who had received the nation's highest military recognition, the Medal of Honor, according to military news site Task and Purpose. The content removal is part of a larger effort by President Donald Trump to eliminate DEI practices in the military and throughout the federal government. Approximately 400,000 veterans are buried in the Army-run cemetery, which was established after the Civil War at the home of the South's General Robert E. Lee. On the cemetery's website, internal links that directed users to web pages with information about the notable graves of dozens of black, Hispanic, and female veterans were missing on Friday. The pages contained short biographies about veterans such as General Colin L. Powell, the first black chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, which is the highest rank in the military after president. They also told the life stories of members of the Tuskegee Airmen, the country's first black military airmen. Are they back? Are they? I don't see any indication that they are back. I think Jackie Robinson is back. DOD scraps then DOD scraps then reinstates Jackie Robinson tribute amid DEI purge. This might be separate from the Arlington Cemetery. AMJ. The Pentagon website put stuff back up, not Arlington. Thank you, Neely. Wait, hold on. Let me pin this. Chat. He got me. You looked into classes or hobbies? How is that DEI? Nobody is answering the question for me. That's a great question, Don Z. That's such a good question. How is it DEI? These were people that served before DEI was even instated. Oh, now you're spamming? Okay, bro. You were funny at first. DEI equals black. Yeah. I mean, I can't remember who said it, but DEI is basically the new it's the new N-word. Like they keep finding new ways to say the N-word. Woke was the first one. Yeah. They've done it for decades. Welfare Queen, CRT, gangs, urban. Yeah, that's right. CRT, that was basically, they didn't even know what CRT was. If you asked them, hey, can you define CRT? They'd be like, well, that's critical race theory. And it's like, okay, what is that? They'd have no idea. CRT is it was the implementation of education that looked through history while also taking into account a racial lens on what's happening. So, for example, it wouldn't just CRT would mean that instead of just teaching the Civil War from the perspective of the northern whites and the southern whites, it would also talk about the perspective of the African slaves that were here. CRT is just unwhitewashing history. Yes, that's a great way to put it. He's checking off all the boxes for democratic backsliding. Yeah. How is it bad? Oh, Chris, it's bad because when you don't like black people, then anything that makes them anything that makes white people look a little bit worse or black people look a little bit better, you're against. That's really the issue with CRT. There was genuinely no problem with CRT at all, but it just became the right's boogeyman. The thing is, Republicans can't run on policy, right? Because if they ran on policy, they would lose every election. Like, our policy is we're going to cut social programs and cut taxes for the rich. They'd lose every election. So they have to come up with social issues to run on. CRT, they hate white people. The red cups, they hate Christians. Trans people, they hate bathrooms or whatever. I don't even know what their fucking argument is anymore. The Dark Lord, I'm onto you. You're a liberal. You're acting. It's a parody account. They fool you into being afraid enough to let them pick your pocket. Yes, exactly. From Lyndon, there's a quote from Lyndon B. Johnson. If you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, give him somebody to look down on and he'll empty his pockets for you. Hell, I'm telling you, if it weren't for the Vietnam War, LBJ would be in my top 3 presidents. But Vietnam kind of... I knew I had a soft spot for the Dark Lord for some reason. Without Orange, you'd have nothing to talk about, Grifter. Well, listen, bro, that's on you guys. You guys keep nominating him. You nominated him 3 times in a row. What do you want me to do? Nominate someone else, and I'll talk about the other person. I'll talk about Nikki Haley. In fact, I prefer that. I would prefer to talk about Nikki Haley's policies rather than having to talk about the fact that you guys support a sexual assaulter. You guys support somebody that tried to overthrow the government. Like, I'd prefer to talk about policy. DeSantis greater than JFK and LBJ. Can you imagine those candidates today, let alone the 60s? Yeah, JFK and LBJ were both like very progressive for their time. And God, if RFK Sr., fuck RFK Jr., if RFK Sr. had ran for president, he had potential to be the greatest president of all time, honestly. Yeah, exactly. We would love to talk about somebody else. I didn't vote for him. I just find this annoying. Well, you didn't vote for him because you're probably 14 years old. Well, Antoine, why didn't he? Because he was assassinated. Where's that grocery lowering policy? I keep looking, but maybe it's underneath our flat earth. Bobby Kennedy was special. So many greats got murked in the 60s. Yeah. Look into Hubert Humphrey, who lost in 68 to Nixon. He was a GOAT. Unfortunately, no one remembers the losers. RFK Sr. is... No, LRDC, you're wrong. RFK Sr. is JFK's brother. JFK is... So the current guy, the anti-vax guy, JFK is his uncle. His father was a really based politician that also got assassinated. Both JFK and his brother got assassinated. We remember John McCain? That's true. But we remember John McCain not for his losing presidential run. We remember John McCain for saving healthcare in this country, and because he was a veteran that was insulted. And we back our veterans. Us patriots back our veterans. Damn, the CIA really wanted them out. And they both knew Marilyn Monroe, apparently. All right, I'm not... We're not going to go into any of this stuff. True Maverick. Yeah, that's true. I heard Musk is the ACH federal payment system, is in the ACH. Oh, that's not good. JFK averted all-out nuclear war. It's crazy hearing the backstory. Thank you, Nolan, for the hand heart. And he was a moderate Republican. Yeah. Fun facts matter, Dan. Okay, we're going to go to the next tab. All right. Oh, so this isn't new, but while it's here, I do want to remind everyone that while Donald Trump has violated the 14th Amendment, the First Amendment, and Articles 1, 2, and 3 of the Constitution just in this term, if we look back to his first term, he wanted to violate the Second Amendment.
And Mr. President, the Vice President's state of Indiana has done a good job.
Yes, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah.
Well, in the category, you've spoken about, Mr. President, gun violence restraining orders. They're called. California actually has a version of this. And I think in your meeting with governors earlier this week, individually and as a group, we spoke about states taking steps. But the focus is to literally give families and give local law enforcement additional tools if an individual is reported to be a potential danger to themselves or others. Allow due process so that no one's rights are trampled, but the ability to go to court, obtain an order, and then collect not only the firearms, but any weapons in the possession of that individual.
Or Mike, take the firearms first and then go to court, because that's another system, because a lot of times by the time you go to court, it takes so long to go to court to get the due process procedures. I like taking the guns early, like in this crazy man's case that just took place in Florida. He had a lot of firearms. They saw everything. To go to court would have taken a long time. So you could do exactly what you're saying, but take the guns first, go through due process second.
We think. All
right. Let me see here. We went over this yesterday. How, I mean, they're just picking up people because of they think they might be terrorists. Some people were deported because of their tattoos. Pence. No, Arflu, I don't think Pence said anything unreasonable. It was Trump disagreed with him and said something unconstitutional. Yeah, so as a reminder, Donald Trump tried to deport or wanted to deport Venezuelan migrants. A judge blocked this deportation order temporarily, and he defied the court order and deported them anyway. And maggots want to say, well, they were all criminals and terrorists, but even ICE admits that many of them didn't have criminal records. What policy do you think would be would be the most impactful to be passed to benefit the U.S.? Oof. If you asked me 10 years ago, it would be Medicare for all, 100%. If you ask me now, fuck, man, that's hard.
Jumping forward, then suddenly jerked backwards. The first.
I don't know what that was. Medicare for all would still be most impactful. I don't know. I think some kind of a policy that would damn spicy enough. No, it was. Wait. Okay, I'm gonna open it back up so that you guys know that wasn't a spicy novel. It was from here.
These are some of the alleged gang members that the Trump administration hours after Donald Trump became families of some.
All right, well, I don't know exactly what it was, but it was playing from here. It was playing from this tab. Improving education, making college free. Barbie, I replied to that at 8:30. You didn't reply until 8:33. Oh, lack of timestamp. I see that. Clutch, I don't know why I'm unable to block that person. Omnipresent. It's not letting me block that person from my end. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right, in Rare Rebuke, Chief Justice, I just Realized that Twitch and YouTube can't really see this. It's cut off. Go. Ban lobbying, tax the rich, close loopholes, cut military budget 15 to 20%. All right, let's hold on. Wait. Okay. This is my response to what KP was just saying. If you this might be offensive, okay? So look away for 10 seconds if you don't want to be offended. Okay. I actually just Okay, next tab. In Rare Rebuke, Chief Justice Roberts slams Trump for comment about Obama judge. Oh, this was back in 2018. He again rebuked him recently here in 2024 for his comment about impeaching a judge. Oh, 2025. Oh, God, it's 2025, chat. Campaign finance reform is needed so bad. Yeah, very true. Very true. This is just the Constitution, but I mean, we could. You know what? We're gonna read Articles 1, 2, and 3. Or wait, Article 1, Section 1, 2, and 3. That's my bad. I've been saying that wrong. Article 1, Section 1, 2, and 3. Section 1. All legislative powers herein granted shall be vested in a Congress of the United States, which shall consist of a Senate and House of Representatives. Section 2. The House of Representatives shall be composed of members chosen every second year by the people of several states, and the electors in each state shall have the qualifications requisite for electors of the most numerous branch of the state legislature. No person shall be a representative who has not attained blah, 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 blah. Okay. The Senate, established in Section 3. And we continue to talk about elections and qualifications. It's all there. Bro, why do your eyes go in two different directions? Well, I have two monitors, so I have to keep looking back and forth. W reading. I highly recommend everyone get a physical copy of the Constitution. You should have read on Youngstown, Sheet and Tube, Poe versus Sawyer. So sad we even have to talk about the separation of powers. Yeah. Hey, Dan, I've spent a day in the hospital here in the UK and so happy to see you on. You always make my day. Thank you so much, Thoughts. Lobbying regulations would fix so much. What do we have next? The 14th Amendment. As a reminder, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and the state wherein they reside. Donald Trump passed an executive order that did the exact opposite of this. And I needed to explain to a Trump supporter how the opposite of something is... Excuse me. I had to explain how this executive order says that birthright citizenship, yes, or this clause of the Constitution says birthright citizenship, yes, and Trump's executive order said birthright citizenship, no. And I had to explain to the Trump supporter that yes and no are opposites because they didn't understand how it was violating the Constitution. Last night was wild. Yeah, it really was. It really freaking was. Chris says she won't give up pushing for end to Gaza, Israel-Gaza war. Oh, last night we also got somebody that said they support Hamas. It's like, bro, I support Palestine, but I'm not supporting Hamas. What are you talking about? And he was essentially saying that he how could I support Kamala Harris if she was sending weapons to Israel? And I was like, oh, I didn't know that was in the vice president's purview. It's right when he said he supported Hamas, I just dropped him. Like, I'm good on that. Remember that time you taught one guy what lying was? Yeah, I do actually. Oh, yeah, we never went over this. Okay, timeline of what appears to be defiance of a judicial order applying the Alien Enemies Act to Venezuelans sent to El Salvador's prisons without due process. 2 years ago, I thought the VP controlled the military.
Obama.
Thank you, Rose, for the hand heart. Hey, Dan, remember 189 per pound of avocado? Oh, God. Okay. Here's the timeline. Sometime Friday, March 14th, Trump issues an executive order invoking the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 for the fourth time in U.S. history to allow the swift removal of Venezuelan citizens, regardless of migratory status, accused of membership in the Tren de Aragua criminal group. The Alien Enemies Act is meant to be a wartime jurisdiction to be invoked at times of declared war, foreign invasion, or foreign predatory incursion. It includes no due process rights for those detained or deported, and the U.S. government is not required to prove a tie to Tren de Aragua. The president of El Salvador, who has imprisoned nearly 3% of its country's male population, offered on February 3rd to jail non-Salvadorians whom the Trump administration sent to El Salvador. Guest crashing out within 15 seconds of joining is my favorite. We should just watch yesterday's live. That would be good content for today. Yesterday's live was so unhinged. Or just do a mega cut. Just cut out the filler. New article in DMs. Yeah. Oh God, I have a lot of DMs, chat. Sorry. Okay, Neely, I will look at that. I sent several. Yeah, I'm seeing this now. Okay. Oof. Okay, I don't want to read that one right now. Trump administration ends tracking of kidnapped Ukrainian children. Okay, give me a second. Let's do this one first. Sometime March 14th. Issues. Okay, we read this. Saturday, March 15th, the ACLU and Democracy Forward seek a temporary restraining order to halt invocation of the Alien Enemies Act. The case is docketed as JGG versus Donald Trump. Saturday, March 15th at 3:10 p.m. and 3:40 p.m. Eastern, 2 ICE charter flights flown by contractor Global X are to leave Harlingen, Texas for San Salvador. These will be delayed. These weekend ICE flights are unusual. 3:51 p.m. According to the page's timestamp, the White House posts the executive order to its website. A third 4:13 p.m. A third ICE charter flight flown by Global X is to leave Harlingen, Texas, to Honduras. It too will be delayed. March 15th, 5 p.m. Eastern, Judge Boasberg convenes a hearing in the JGG versus Trump case. March 15th, 20 minutes later, Judge Boasberg adjourns the hearing until 6 p.m. to give the Department of Justice time to confirm whether flights carrying people under the Alien Enemies Act are underway or may depart soon. March 15th at 5:26 Eastern, Global X Flight 6143 departs Harlingen, Texas, but its destination has changed to Honduras. 5:45 p.m., Global X Flight 6145 departs Harlingen, Texas. While the Flight Aware app said it was heading to San Salvador, there is an alternate flight plan for Honduras. The subsequent reporting shows that this and the 2 other planes went to... Okay, I'm going to have to pronounce this. Actually...
Kamayagua.
Kamayagua. None flew directly to San Salvador. It is not clear why they made this stop en route. 6:05 p.m. In a private aside, the Department of Justice apparently fails to confirm anything about the flights to Judge Boasberg. 6:47 p.m. Judge Boasberg issues a temporary restraining order blocking application of the Alien Enemies Act. The New York Times reported Judge Boasberg said he was ordering the government to turn flights around given information unrebutted by the government that flights are actively departing. 7:26 p.m. Eastern, a March 16th Justice Department notice refers to a 7:26 p.m. minute order from Judge Boasberg. At this point, all flights should have stopped or turned around. 7:36 Eastern, Global X Flight 6143 did not turn around. It lands in Comayagua, Honduras. 7:37 Eastern, Flight 6122 departs Harlingen for Comayagua, Honduras. 8:07 Eastern, there are 2 flight plans filed for Global X 6145. The one that turns out to be correct listed the plane landing at this time in Honduras. 9:46 p.m., flight lands in Honduras. 11:39 p.m. Eastern, a Washington Post timeline shows a plane departing Comayagua, Honduras at 11:39 p.m. 11:41, the plane departs Honduras for El Salvador. 12:06, the plane lands in El Salvador. 12:10, a Washington Post timeline shows a flight from Comayagua landing in El Salvador. 12:41, Flight 6123 departs Honduras for El Salvador. Sunday, March 16th, 1:04 a.m., the flight lands in El Salvador. March 16th, 7:46 a.m., Salvadorian president tweets a screenshotted New York Post headline. Federal judge orders deportation flights carrying alleged Venezuelan gangbangers to return to U.S. with the comment, oopsie too late, laughing emoji. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio retweets this. I'm gonna get some water. Talking about you. You know what? I don't want to look at you. (8:13 Eastern). El Salvador president posts footage of people arriving and being dragged off a plane by security forces in riot gear, then roughly herded into his government's giant terrorism confinement center prison. (8:13 Eastern). Oh, we just read that. Sorry. Today, the first 238 members of the Venezuelan criminal organization Tren de Agua arrived in our country. They were immediately transferred to CICOT, the Terrorism Confinement Center, for a period of 1 year, renewable. The United States will pay a very low fee for them, but a high one for us. ICE has confirmed that there are many people that have not been convicted of any crimes. A lot of these people, they have no evidence, are in this gang. Wait, hold on. I need something for there's a member of chat. Suzanne, believe it or not, there is not a single Democratic policy that calls for illegal immigration. Does that make sense, Suzanne? In fact, the Democratic nominee in this election, in this past election, supported a Republican-written border bill that would have made it more difficult for people to immigrate here illegally. You decided to vote for Donald Trump instead. You don't actually care about the policies. You live your life based off vibes. And you really love the vibes of the sexual assaulter, government overthrower, Constitution disrespecter, veteran hater, Donald Trump. Okay. 8:39 a.m. Eastern, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio tweets, "Thank you for your assistance and friendship, President." Okay, fine. I'll look up how to pronounce it. Bukele?
Bukele.
Okay. 90% sure that's a bot. That to say, under Democratic rule, veterans were not receiving any treatment. Brother, Republicans are literally cutting the VA as we speak. As we speak. (3:46 p.m.) An Axios article by Mark Caputo reports that White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller. Oh my God, I didn't even realize Stephen Miller was Deputy Chief of Staff. And Homeland Security Secretary Christine Noem chose not to turn the planes around. Officials claimed to Caputo that they could ignore Judge Boasberg's order because the planes were already over international waters. A correction added to the story reads, "This story was updated with the White House's official claim that the administration had ignored the ruling but not defied it because it came too late. Timeline makes it clear that the order did not come too late." There's a lot of feedback from the mic. I don't know how I would fix that. Is that any better? No feedback? Sounds fine to me. Rome, it might be a you problem. Breaking news, Musk set to get access to top secret US plan for potential war with China. Listen. It's been 10 years. You guys can end the simulation. All right? We've had enough. We've had enough. Please. You get it. You got the data for your report. You recognize that through this amount of stimulus, half the people in this country would lose their minds and vote for Donald Trump. We get it, okay? You got the data. I don't know what report you're writing. Just please end the simulation. I want to go back to 2015. Please. What type of war we need to read that? Yeah, it's New York Times, though. I don't know if I'll be able to read it. 1 second. Yeah, I'm gonna have to use the dark arts to read this article. Okay, let's finish this article and then we'll go to the Elon Musk China war. Okay, so March 18th, acting ICE Harlingen Field Officer Robert L. Cerna submits a statement to the court affirming that 2 flights were carrying all the Venezuelans removed under the Alien Enemies Act proclamation and that both were in the air by 7:25 p.m. on March 16th, a minute before Judge Boasberg's temporary restraining order appeared in writing. The statement seems to assume that the planes could not be called back once in the air, once over international waters, or once on the ground in Honduras, not their final destination, while still carrying out an ICE contract. These assumptions are far from settled. Okay. All right. Musk set to get access to top secret U.S. plan for potential war with China. The Pentagon is scheduled on Friday to brief Elon Musk on the U.S.'s military plan for any war that might break out with China, 2 U.S. officials said on Thursday. Can I get anyone that voted for Donald Trump that can explain to me why Elon Musk would be debriefed on this? Anybody? I'm begging you. Why? What is the reason? Another official said the briefing will be China-focused without providing additional details. A 4th official confirmed Mr. Musk was to be at the Pentagon on Friday, but offered no details. Providing Mr. Musk access to some of the nation's most closely guarded military secrets would be a dramatic expansion of his already extensive role as an advisor to President Trump and leader of his foreign effort to slash spending and purge the government of people and policies they oppose. It would also bring into sharp relief the questions about Mr. Musk's conflict of interest as he ranges widely across the federal bureaucracy while continuing to run businesses that are major government contractors. In this case, Mr. Musk, the billionaire chief executive of both SpaceX and Tesla, is a leading supplier to the Pentagon and has extensive financial interests in China. Pentagon war plans, known in military jargon as O plans or operational plans, are among the military's most closely guarded secrets. If a foreign country was to learn how the United States planned to fight a war against them, it could reinforce its defenses and address its weaknesses, making the plans far less likely to succeed. Did the world actually end in 2012 and we just didn't realize? The top secret briefing for the China war plan, has about 20 to 30 slides that lay out how the United States would fight such a conflict. It covers the plan beginning with the indications and warnings of a threat from China to various options on what Chinese targets to hit over what time period that would be presented to Mr. Trump for decisions, according to the officials with knowledge of the plan. The White House spokesman did not respond to an email seeking comment about the purpose of the visit, how it came about, whether Mr. Trump was aware of it, and whether the visit raises questions of conflicts of interest. The White House has not said whether Mr. Trump signed a conflicts of interest waiver for Mr. Musk. A Defense Department spokesman did not respond to a similar email, of course. The meeting reflects the extraordinary dual role played by Mr. Musk, who is both the world's wealthiest man and has been given broad authority by Mr. Trump. we're paying a fee for Harambe. Mr. Musk has a security clearance, and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth can determine who has a need to know about the plan. The choice of sharing lots of technical details with Mr. Musk, however, is another matter. When did Elon Musk get a security clearance? Elon Musk is unlikely to receive government security clearances if he so applied. Why don't we hear anything about Peter Thiel anymore? Because he's in the shadows. I think he's just lying about a security clearance, but as a weapons contractor, he does get some. Okay, okay. Guess that makes sense. All right. I think we read this the other day. Judge rules Doge's USAID dismantling likely violates the Constitution. He failed DHS, but Trump gave him a lower one. Oh, okay. Judge warns of consequences if Trump administration violated deportation order. I mean, we basically read this. We read this yesterday. Israel strikes that shattered ceasefire just the beginning, Netanyahu says, after deadliest 24 hours in Gaza since 2023. Federal Reserve sees tariffs raising inflation this year. Love that for us. Segregated facilities are no longer explicitly banned in federal contracts. We went over this extensively yesterday. Okay. I was told we should watch this to get Chuck Schumer's perspective on why he passed the CR. Where are all those never Kamala leftists now? They're with Jill Stein. Okay, so we're gonna listen to it so that the live doesn't get taken down. And plus, do you guys really want to see Chuck Schumer?
Democrats have few options for challenging President Trump and the GOP majorities in the House and Senate. But some on the left say they had a chance to do just that last week when Senate Republicans needed votes from their Democratic colleagues to pass the government funding bill. The top Democrat, Senator Chuck Schumer, however, voted with the GOP and supplied the needed votes, angering many in his party.
Let me be clear. In my time in Congress, never, ever has one party written partisan, full-year appropriations bills for all of government and expected the other party to go along without any input.
I would have liked to see, when Chuck Schumer had leverage here, to say we need A, B, C, and D for the Democratic Party and force the Republicans to meet him halfway.
To see Senate Democrats even consider acquiescing to Elon Musk, I think it is a huge slap in the face, and I think that there's a wide sense of betrayal if things proceed as currently planned.
I myself don't give away anything for nothing. And I think that's what happened the other day.
We spoke with Senator Schumer earlier today about that criticism, Democrats' path forward, and his new book, Anti-Semitism in America, a Warning. Leader Schumer, welcome back to the NewsHour.
Glad to be back.
I want to start with your support of the GOP funding bill and the criticism that you have received as a result. I know that you maintain that a shutdown would have been far worse than passing the Republican bill. What do you see that the vast majority of Hill Democrats don't see? Why are they wrong in saying that you should have blocked it?
Well, Jeff, I knew when I made my decision there'd be a lot of people who disagreed with it. but I felt it was imperative that I do. We had an awful choice, a Hobson's choice, between a CR bill, which had no Democratic input, a continuing resolution to fund the government, and a government shutdown. As bad as the CR bill was, the shutdown, I'd say, would be 15, 20 times worse, and let me explain. In a shutdown, the whole government shuts down, and then the executive branch solely determines what is, quote, essential and what is not essential. So they could say on day 2 of the shutdown, SNAP, food for kids, not essential. On day 4, no transit funds, mass transit or other, are essential. We'll only declare as essential in the transportation bill air traffic controllers. On day 6, Medicaid, half of it not essential. We can cut Medicaid, cut rural hospitals, cut community health centers. And who has the power to do this? The executive. The courts have ruled that they have no say, that the executive makes the sole determination. Now, in the old days with the shutdown, they might do little things around the edges. But look who's in charge now. Musk, Doge, and probably worst of all, this man Vogt, you spell his name V-O-G-H-T, he's in charge of OMB, which determines the shutdown. They want to slash the federal government. They want to cut it in half. Also, they can give tax breaks to their billionaire friends. And making it even worse, there's no exit strategy. In other words, how long do you stay in the shutdown? It's totally up to those evil people who hate the federal government, who hate all the good things that we have been able to do. One of the Republican senators told a Democratic senator, if you go into shutdown, we'll be in it for 6-9 months until we destroy.
Okay, so I'm fact-checking this in real time. I went to, this is the Office of Personnel Management, OPM. Okay, so what happens to employees on detail during shutdown furlough? Detailed employees remain officially assigned to their permanent position of record during the detail. During a shutdown furlough, each agency will determine the status of their employees on detail, either within the agency or to another agency. This determination is driven by the funding source of the work performed by the detailed employees. So this to me gives credence to what, unless I'm misreading it for any people that are more familiar with this in chat, unless I'm misreading this does give credence to what Chuck's saying. They all have designated essential personnel. Yes, but could they not change who they designate? I think each agency determines the status of their employees on detail. Can't check mod chat? Okay. Wait, that was on TikTok? Oh my god. Been like 6 or 7 now? God, I'm so sorry. All right, let me keep playing this. Keep playing.
Destroy the federal government. So while certainly the CR was bad, when you just had those two choices, in my view, the shutdown had to be avoided.
Well, when you hear the governor of Pennsylvania say that you squandered your leverage, or Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi saying that you gave up the votes and got nothing in return, how does that strike you? There are Democrats who say that if the government had shut down, you force Republicans to own it. All the pain that Americans would feel that you just described, Republicans would pay the political price. Why not be as tactically ruthless as Republicans have shown themselves to be?
Well, first, there was no choice. The Republicans had given us, when they sent it over from the House, just two choices: CR as is or shutdown. There was no other choice. But second, if you think that these Republicans would come to us and say, oh, we shouldn't have shut down the food stamps. We shouldn't have shut down Medicaid. We shouldn't have slashed the federal government. I don't think that's at all an accurate reading of who they are and what they are. And the danger that my prognosis is correct, which I believe it is, was so great in terms of destruction, they could furlough employees forever and just have the federal government shrink to half its size en masse. That would have been the worst alternative. And there was to rely on Republicans, oh, we surrender, we'll come to the table because what we're doing is bad, doesn't make sense to me.
Beyond the questions about this bill, there are deeper questions, as you well know, about the approach, the sense among Democrats that the Donald Trump of the second term is more emboldened, more defiant, more divisive, more dangerous, many Democrats believe, than the Donald Trump of the first, and that Democrats appear divided and ill-equipped
I believe that
to put up a fight.
I believe that too.
So what's the strategy to meet the moment?
Look, okay, so there were divisions, as I said. I knew that many people would disagree with me. I felt, Jeff, as a leader, my job, if there was such danger, such tragedy, such horror, a little bit around the curve, that I, as leader, had the obligation to make sure that didn't happen, even though I knew there'd be disagreement. But going forward, we are all united, Hakeem and I and all of us. And what are we united doing? Focusing on how bad Trump is.
Channeling what I would imagine would be some of the pushback from the Democratic base, it would be that naming and shaming with Donald Trump doesn't work. That's what Democrats have done for the past 2 years. In this last election, he won the popular vote, the Electoral College, every battleground state. So, the rules of political gravity, press conferences and bold statements and coordinated tweets, it doesn't work. I mean, what does the fight look like?
We're going to go after. We're going after him in every way. And by the way, the people before who said he'd be shamed and come to the table, that's the exact opposite of what that is. So you can't have it both ways. But I would say this. In 2017, when he was last here, Nancy Pelosi and I said we're going to go after him on health care. He was very unpopular with that. We're going to go after him on tax breaks for the rich. And then we won the House and picked up some seats in the Senate in 2018. Same thing is going to happen now. And we're going to go after him in so many different ways. We are doing much better on the social media, led by Cory Booker and Tina Smith in our House. And so we're reaching people who were not reached before. We are mobilizing in New York. We have people going to the Republican.
Logion, thank you for the $3.50. Chuck Schumer, more like Cuck Boomer.
Republican districts and going after these Republicans who are voting for this and forcing them to either change their vote or face the consequences. This is a long, relentless fight that we fight every day. And I am confident that we will bring Trump's popularity, numbers, and strength down if we keep at it and keep at it and keep at it.
There are those who believe that we are, in real time, living through an assault on the constitutional order. Do you believe that we are in a constitutional crisis right now?
Yes, our democracy is at risk because Donald Trump shows that he wishes to violate the laws in many, many different ways. The good news here is we did put 235 judges, progressive judges not under the control of Trump last year on the bench, and they are ruling against Trump time after time after time. And we hope that the appellate courts, when it gets up there in the Supreme Court, will uphold those rulings. They restored the money to NIH. They required that 8,000 federal employees have to come back. We're in over 100 lawsuits against them, and we are having a good deal of success. It's only at the lower court level right now.
Let's talk about your new book out now, Anti-Semitism in America. That's the title of the book. You were the highest-ranking Jewish elected official in America ever, and you write that you once felt that your Jewish identity could be worn lightly, but that you now feel it's your duty to alert our country to the rising tide of anti-Semitism. There are a number of audios.
Do we want to listen to the rest? It doesn't have to do with the shutdown. Quite like Schumer on Chris Hayes. which was the one I recommended. Ahem. Oh no. Okay. Sorry, Barbie. I thought they were the same one. My bad. This was the real point of interview. His book. Listen, old school politicians. This is how they do it. I'm tapping out early tonight. Good night, Dan and everyone. Good night, Ryan. You know what? I might tap out early too. Okay. Next article. But yeah, so like I said, reading the guidance from the OPM, I think he has his argument isn't unfounded. But I kind of agree with what somebody said in chat, which is like his miscalculation is that Trump and Elon are going to do the shit anyway. So, like, shutting the government down doesn't really change anything there. Oh, there's another one. Hold on, we got to guess. Let's see. Right here. Another one, what?
Hello.
Hi, welcome up.
Hey, I was watching your live yesterday when you were talking to that one guy about if they're deporting US citizens. And I was commenting in the comments, like, there's this one person that isn't a criminal. She was a professor at Brown, and they deported her to Lebanon. And she had a US visa. So, yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. But I love your work, and I'll continue to support you. So I'm just going to drop down.
Thank you so much. Yo, if you're here for the first time, thank you so much for joining. We're live Wednesdays to Saturdays, 7 p.m. Eastern, doing live political debates, political discussions, and fact checks. We're also live for all major political events. If you like this content, drop a follow, tap the screen, and make sure you're following on Twitch and YouTube because TikTok might get banned on April 5th. Why are Dems still trying this polite centrist BS? I can't. Yeah, I agree with you. Which is why I like that Isaiah is running for the House, and I like members like AOC and Jasmine Crockett. We need a new age of Democrats. Let's be real. You gonna run, Dan? If I run, I have to move. I cannot win. I'm in a very red district. I would have to move. Well, when did Isaiah announce that? I think 2 days ago. Dems are trying. Schumer just isn't correctly meeting the rhetorical needs of today. Dan, you got me locked in on Marvel Rivals right now. Out of Florida. That's amazing. He's in Texas, correct? Yeah. Houston area. Come to Colorado and run against Boebert. Like, Schumer should only say, Trump is a traitor. We don't negotiate with traitors. I don't know if that would fly with, like, there's still people in this country that don't understand the severity of the situation. So that would make the Democrats look petty. Someone in Iowa won in a plus 20
Bleach blonde, bad built butch body.
Caffeine, thank you so much for the Jolly Joy Bean. Bleach blonde, bad built butch body. They're enjoying the band while the ship sinks. Did you guys talk about the EO on Trump dismantling? I have the tab open. We just haven't gotten to it yet. Florida is so red and racist. No, there are districts in Florida I can run in. It's just not the one I live in. Dan, do you know if the DNC is funding those special election campaigns? That's a good question. Funding the special election. as of 8 hours ago, DNC invests in Florida special elections. They announced it today.
I love Tesla.
Thank you, AA Ron. They announced it today that they're going to be funding those elections, so that's good. What is a Stream Deck? So it's this little device that we can set these buttons to do anything we want on the stream. So for example, I can set one of the buttons to do this. I can also set one of the buttons to do this.
I love Tesla.
And so on and so forth. Speaking of which, Aaron, who just sent the I love Tesla, is the person who bought this for the live. So W's for Aaron. I was waiting for you to set it up. Yeah, I know. I'm so bad at doing things. But we'll do it tonight. We just got to get through the news. Real. Genuinely, what action can Democrats take if Trump defies judicial orders like he did this past week? No. At that point, no, you're right. I will say, as critical as I am of the Democratic Party right now, our expectations shouldn't be that high, given their situation. There's not much they can do. That's why I appreciate the people who, went out of their way to send letters like thanking the Democrats for holding the line versus the ones that didn't. Dan, what are your thoughts on him? Well, we didn't get to the article yet. When I get to that, I will give you my thoughts. But obviously, I'm against it. Sorry, I live in Florida. Where in Florida? Tampa area. I live in Central Florida. Tesla's in Paris. McConnell accomplished plenty when Obama was president, though. Okay, so the difference was McConnell had the majority. In the 2010 midterms were so bad for Democrats. It was an absolute bloodbath in the House. And so Obama was never getting anything passed regardless of McConnell. I think Democrats lost 60 seats because Democrats were complacent, right? They were like, "Oh, we just won the election. Midterms aren't that important." And Republicans were really, really mad that a black guy was president. Really mad. Like, you guys don't understand how mad. If you're young, okay, and you didn't live in the Obama years, Republicans were so fucking mad that a black guy was president. I'll be in Orlando in May. I'll be seeing you. This is a threat. This is a threat. Is crazy. Trump feels like a punishment. Dead ass. Yeah. Thank you for the roses, Amanda. Did my first live last night, went well, but don't have multi-guest access yet. Yeah, I think you need to do 3 lives. They're still mad. Fixed it for you. Yeah, that's true. I think I was 8. My parents and aunts were crying, and I don't understand why. Yeah, I mean, there was a non-zero percentage of the population that thought he was the genuine Antichrist. I was in an all-black private school. We all cried when Trump got elected the first time. I don't blame you. All right. Here we go. Next article. By the way, real quick before we continue. So this is Clutch, thank you for the gifted sub on Twitch. These types of lives are probably what's more likely if TikTok does end up getting banned. It's going to be less likely that we're going to have debate lives every day, like on TikTok, because the ability to do them on Twitch and YouTube is just so diminished. Well, this is good. Okay. Donald has a goat statue made of fake money with his name replaced God on bills. You might not thank Clutch if you know who got the gifted sub, Dan. I saw who got it, and I still am happy that you're subbed. I don't know why you would think I wouldn't be. I'm going to miss debates. Well, maybe they'll extend the deadline. We'll see. The people who thought Obama was the Antichrist then voted for someone who fit the Antichrist description. Literally. Literally. Like to a T. I've seen some creators do it with a phone line on YouTube and Twitch. Yeah, I've seen that too. Okay, where were we? Sorry. Here we go. That is too lit right now. We need... Trump administration ends tracking of kidnapped Ukrainian children in Russia. Democratic and Republican lawmakers sent a letter to Secretary of State Marco Rubio asking whether a database on thousands of children had been deleted. The State Department has ended funding for the tracking of tens of thousands of Ukrainian children abducted by Russia. By the way, this is something that we don't talk about enough. There were literally tens of thousands of Ukrainian children abducted by Russia. We do not talk about this enough. The start of the invasion, the Russian authorities purposefully removed children from Ukraine, aiming to turn them against their homeland. Absolutely disgusting. The work on the abducted children by the Yale School of Public Health Humanitarian Research Lab was frozen when President Trump signed an executive order in late January halting almost all foreign aid spending. Since then, Mr. Rubio and an official under him, Pete Morocco, have ended the vast majority of foreign aid contracts, including this one to the Yale lab. I didn't know about it before Zelensky brought it up in the Oval Office. Yeah, it's not reported on as much as it should be. The bipartisan congressional letter signed by 17 lawmakers and organized by Representative Greg Landsman, Democrat of Ohio, said that the foreign aid freeze had jeopardized and may ultimately eliminate our informational support of Ukraine on this front. The State Department and the Yale Center had been preserving evidence of abducted children from Ukraine it had identified to be shared with Interpol and the government of Ukraine to secure their return, the letter said. According to a copy obtained by the New York Times, Europol is the main law enforcement agency of the European Union. The letter was also addressed to Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary. We have reason to believe that the data from the repository has been permanently deleted, it said. If true, this would have devastating consequences. Can you please update us as to the status of the data from the evidence repository? And I'm assuming Rubio has not commented. Okay. The Social Security Fairness Act could boost payments for more than 3.2 million Americans. See who qualifies. One of former President Joe Biden's last acts in office could increase Social Security retirement benefits by over $1,000 a month for millions of Americans. Chat, how much do you want to bet Donald Trump will take credit for this? If Donald Trump takes credit for this, and you voted for Donald Trump, I need you to have a spine and a backbone. And just say, hey, guy, it's okay. We still like you. You don't have to lie to us. Please. On January 5th, Biden signed the Social Security Fairness Act into law, which repealed two benefit rules, the windfall elimination provision and the government pension offset. I just posted a video of Trump taking credit for Biden work, LOL. Oh, great. The policies were put in place to prevent workers from receiving an unfair advantage by having access to both public pensions and Social Security benefit retirement benefits. Putin showed true face by bombing Ukraine after ceasefire call, says Finland's president. Only arming Kiev to its teeth will deter Russian leader, Alexander Stubb says in interview. Russian President Putin has revealed his true intentions in Ukraine by bombing civilian energy infrastructure after telling President Trump that Moscow would stop such attacks, said the Finnish president. The only real solution to deter Moscow is to militarize Ukraine to its teeth. The Finnish president was speaking after a meeting with Ukrainian President Zelensky in Helsinki one day after Trump held a 2-hour phone conversation with Putin. Despite agreeing to a pause on attacking energy infrastructure, Russia unleashed a barrage of drone and missile attacks on Ukraine after the call.
Come on, man.
Thank you,
Come on,
Aaron.
man.
Thank you again. Thank you. Wait, is there any way for me to see the... There's something called a gift gallery, which... Oh, there is. So there's something called a gift gallery where people can, like, earn the title for a certain gift. Right now, Aaron has the hat and mustache. Let Love Live has the rose. Ashlyn has the hearts. And M. Mary has the galaxy. And I think everything else is open. Antifa stormed the Capitol, but also thank you, President Trump, for pardoning the J6 warriors. Oh, and there we go. Now, Thoughts from a Flower has the finger hearts. How do you pin? The mods are the ones that pin. Remember when Trump said Putin wouldn't violate the ceasefire? By the way, so whenever MAGA comes in and says, I voted for Trump because he's respected around the world, unlike Kamala Harris, this is going to be yet another example of him not being respected. Just like when he wasted taxpayer money going to North Korea and then Kim Jong-un continued to do missile tests. Mere hours after agreeing he wouldn't bomb civilian energy infrastructure, Putin bombed civilian energy infrastructure. Wait, and you can't pin? Trump not even respected in America. Thoughts from a Flower also has the Rosa title gift. I think that's it. Okay. Thank you, Thoughts. Thank you. Going to the next article. This is the big one today. Trump signs executive order to dismantle U.S. Department of Education.
Our country is being destroyed by stupid people.
I agree, Ice Cold. I agree. Thank you for the meerkat. Barbie, someone would have muted you for that. Has kids signing it is crazy. Wait a minute. Why? Why are there children in this? Okay, let's read. Let's read what the justification is for the children being in here. Trump signed an executive order on Thursday that instructs the U.S. Education Secretary Linda McMahon to start dismantling the Department of Education, seemingly attempting to circumvent the need to obtain congressional approval to formally close a federal department. The administration may eventually pursue an effort to get Congress to shut down the agency, Trump said at the signing ceremony at the White House on Thursday, because its budget had more than doubled in size in recent years, but national test scores had not improved. The children are excited to learn humans lived with dinosaurs 2,000 years ago. The federal government does not mandate curriculum in schools. That has been the responsibility of state and local governments, which provide 90% of the funding to schools. Nevertheless, at the White House, Trump repeated his campaign promise to send education back to the states. I'm going to read that again for the people that need the Department of Education, for the people that were children that were left behind by George W. Bush. The federal government does not mandate curriculum in schools. That has been the responsibility of state and local governments, which provide 90% of the funding to schools. The executive order targeting the Education Department, which has been expected for weeks, directed McMahon to take all necessary steps to shut down key functionalities. It is so sad that my mom is a retired teacher and voted Trump even after he was talking about getting rid of this. Just so brain rotted. Yeah. Trump is looking to add bootlicking 101. My administration will take all lawful steps My administration will take all lawful steps to shut down the department. We're going to shut it down and shut it down as quickly as possible. It's doing us no good. My mom keeps saying, well, I have faith in him and don't know what's going to happen. Like, please. McMahon appeared to smile in acknowledgement as she sat in the front row at the signing event in the East Room. Trump spoke from a stage in front of a row of state flags, flanked on each side by a group of school children sitting at small desks. The bulk of the Education Department's budget is made up of federal grant and loan programs, including the $18.4 billion Title I program that provides funding to high-poverty K-12 schools and the $15.5 billion IDEA program that helps cover the education costs for students with disabilities. If you still support Trump, you are against poor children and children with disabilities getting a good education. What is wrong with you? When did you forsake yourself? When did you lose your humanity? The White House said those programs, as well as the $1.6 trillion federal student loan program, would not be affected by the order. It was not immediately clear what spending cuts the administration would be able to achieve without cutting those initiatives. Yeah, this is the same thing they were doing with the Medicaid cuts, where they say, oh, well, it's not going to be affected, but the numbers don't number, right? It's like, this is the whole budget. This is how much you want to cut. But you're saying you won't cut this stuff, but if you want to cut this, you have to cut this stuff. The move comes after the administration had already taken steps to undercut the department's authority by instituting a round of layoffs that has reduced its workforce by nearly half and canceled dozens of grants and contracts. Hold on. Whack. Literally just cutting fraud and waste. If you can point out a singular piece of fraud, that has been cut by Elon or Trump, I will end this live and become a Republican today. If you can point out one piece of fraud, thank you. The idea of shutting down the education department dates back to the efforts by Republicans in the 1980s, but the push has become increasingly mainstream in recent years as pro-Trump grassroots advocates took aim at agendas that promoted education standards and more inclusive policies. Neely, your test worked, I think. I'm pretty sure my old school had to shut down the school lunch program because of this. So fucking sad. Yeah, essentially implying that, like Patty said, that her kid is a waste. It's like infuriating to read. Hey Dan, did you look into the Furries Act, HR 4814? Relating to the display of an allowance for non-human behaviors in Texas. What does this mean? The litter box rumor? Oh my god, no, no, no. It was debunked like 5 years ago. This bill may be referred to as the Forbidding Unlawful Representation of Role-Playing in Education, or Furries Act. Why are Republicans so fucking unserious? How is this helping anyone? How is this your priority? Like, taxpayers are paying these people. If you live in Texas, you're paying whoever wrote this. Prohibit any non-human behavior by a student, including presenting himself or herself on days other than exempt days as anything other than a human being. Congressman Thomas Massie, a Republican from Kentucky, separately introduced a one-sentence bill in January that would terminate the Education Department at the end of 2026. Similar efforts have failed to get enough votes to pass in previous years. The Trump administration's efforts to shutter the Education Department have largely followed the playbook in Project 2025, the Heritage Foundation's right-wing manifesto to remake the federal government, which envisions the department as a statistics-gathering agency that disseminates information to the states. Hold on. Project... So, of the 300 objectives in Project 2025, 101 of them are done and 45 of them are in progress. But yeah, this Trump has nothing to do with Project 2025. Nothing at all. Y'all remember how badly we were getting gaslit before the election? And like, we're all the sane people, the brain wrinkle havers, the eyeball users, the ear hearers, knew that Trump 2025 agenda would be Project 2025. But they just kept saying, yeah, but he said he doesn't know anything about it. Democrats on Capitol Hill denounced the executive order and warned it could leave in jeopardy millions of low-income families who rely on federal funding in schools. Shutting down the Department of Education will harm millions of children in our nation's public schools, their families, and hardworking teachers. Class sizes will soar, educators will be fired, special education programs will be cut, and college will get more expensive, Hakeem Jeffries, the U.S. House Minority Leader, said in a statement. The progressive wing of the House Democratic Caucus also denounced Trump's order as an unconstitutional attempt to evade seeking congressional approval to implement his political agenda. True. Okay, we watched this. This is old, but just a reminder for MAGA thinking that they're not the villains in this story. Just a reminder. Hi, welcome up.
Oh, hey Dan, sorry, I wasn't paying attention to my phone. But I want to give you some clarification on the Furries Act. So, remember Uvalde? It was really tragic. So, what I'm guessing happened is a couple of Republicans got in a room and they sat everybody down and was like, what is a real problem facing our students other than, pew-pews? And then they brought up a picture of those razor pink cat girl headphones. You know the ones, they look like headphones with little cat ears? And they were like, yeah, that's it. So they decided to drop the Furries Act, which is the most pointless piece of legislation I think I've ever heard literally in my life. Basically, you just can't have cat ears, which is like in my entire life, I've literally never had a problem with that. Like, let's be so for real. So they're just, I don't even know what they're doing, dude.
A lot of people are saying it was about the litter box rumors, which were debunked, by the way, like 5 years ago.
Yeah,
but yeah, appreciate you for coming up. It's just a ploy to sell school vouchers endorsed by Greg Abbott. Oh, love that for us. I'm feeling really demoralized at the moment. Yeah, I don't blame you. What's the litter box rumor? So Republicans spread this. It was literally just like a fake post on Twitter, but they spread this post that said that schools were providing litter boxes for children that identified as cats. And it just wasn't true. Some schools had cat litter, like the janitors had it in stock or in their supplies because it was used to like cover vomit. Like when you when a kid throws up, you put like cat litter on it. And so they ran with it and said it was for people identifying as cats. Republicans tried to do anything based in reality challenge level impossible. It was from Joe Rogan originally. I heard it was literally in case of school pew-pews. I heard that too, but I don't know if that's true. I think it's just used for vomiting. Or when a kid is shot, they were for school shootings. Is that true, Kai Angela? I didn't see like confirmation of that. I saw like a rumor of that. I don't know because school shootings weren't like as big when I was young. Now it's all the rage. School counselor told me. There was a TikTok that a teacher made. I've seen teachers on here share that from their safety meetings. Yeah, and me too. I've been reading too many comments from MAGA. The hatred is getting to me. I will say, okay, don't worry about comments. Videos, legislation, stuff like that, that can bother you. Comments, whenever you read a comment that makes you upset, just remember that they probably are a Russian bot or breathe through their mouth. Okay? They had to write those comments slowly because their fingers hurt from how damaged their knuckles were from dragging. Like, you really don't have to worry about the comments. But they probably do use it when it happens. Some of the nicest people turn out to be Trump supporters. Long live Comrade Kim Il Sung and the... Wait, what am I reading? I think there's a Leninist on Twitch. I rebuke that. Wait, the thing I just said? I was reading a Twitch comment. Gotta work out. Have a nice night. You too, Jared. Know about Republicans being nice? Oh, yeah. So it's very possible. Listen, you could meet a nice old lady, right? Help her with her groceries, and then you walk her to the car and there's a Trump sticker on her car. Like nice is not the same as like kind or moral, right? Like when nice guys are like, girls never go for nice guys. And nice is not the same as like good. Drop the groceries and run. Nice MAGAs creep me out the most. I get that. Like you hear somebody and they seem like a good member of society, but then they have these horrible, like, anti-human views. Yeah, I definitely see that. Okay. Shout out to the mods, all right? The mods are doing the Lord's work right now with the spam accounts. W mods. I don't trust nice MAGAs. They're a fox smiling. Yeah. Helping elderly Republicans cross the road halfway. Cashew, it's not a real account. Neely, the real Neely is a mod. Those are fake accounts that are popping up today. I don't know why. Hey, Ari. I live in 80% Trump country, and, like, the people are nice, but I know they aren't kind. Yeah. Get that. Okay, let's set up the stream deck with a little bit of help from Angela. I'm so sick of hearing, why can't we all just get along
At Angela,
because
look,
you
why
voted
can't we
against
just
my
respect
rights?
each
Yeah,
other?
exactly.
It's so enraging when they do that. Neely has been ruffling some feathers these days.
Has she? Is that?
I gotta get back to work.
Is that why?
Have a good night,
did
y'all.
Neely trigger the wrong snowflake? Good night, Randy. A lot of people are just misinformed and misguided. They're usually not just flatly bad people. I don't know what the percentage is. You're right, but I don't know what the percentage is. MAGA is me the people versus we the people. True. Oh, wait. This.
Nice that the mods don't know Barbie is a bot, yet. Neely is the hero we need and deserve. Misguided is doing a lot heavy lifting there. It feels like at this point people are just woefully uninformed. Yeah, but too many are flat out bad people who don't care about anyone but themselves.
Very true.
There are a ton of shit people who don't have an empathy for anyone. At Schwaylight Blueheart. Fresh, fresh. I wish it wasn't true.
Here's a problem.
I am scared. Let me clap.
I don't know where this is on
What's wild is if they cared about
computer.
themselves, they'd vote for Harris. Scared about what they will do to disabled people, kids. Dan, you a lighthouse of sanity in the vast sea of insanity.
Thank you, Blank.
At D Dizzle 40 Shore. It's just a regular USB-C. So hot right now, Dan.
Yeah, but I still don't know where that is on my computer. It's not on the front, I can tell you that.
Might need an adapter cable to a USB.
Might need an adapter cable to USB. Yeah, I think I might. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm
love
off
Tesla.
MAGA Nation. Trump might be the worst ever. Oh shit, congrats, D Dizzle. I love Tesla.
How old is your computer, Dan? Too little, too late. Yeah, you'll likely need USB-C to USB for a desktop PC. Not
Were
every
you-
computer has that
Hold
port.
on,
That's
let
the
me
issue.
look in the back. Let me look in the back.
I remember I wanted a Tesla. Connect to graphics card. Dan's knees are on life support. We went to my kids' special needs basketball tonight and I am so worried about these kids. FDT. At DDizzle 40U. While you're down there, What are your thoughts on Steve Bannon saying they are working on MAGA 2028? Ha ha ha. You okay, Dan? OMG. Are you okay, Dan? Lol. You good, Dan? Ouch. Dan, no. Not Dan on the live stream. Workers' comp. What happened, Dan? Call this man an ambulance. Dan, who's the president? Oh, my bad. The salute should have ended Elon, but IDK, they're immortal now. At D-Dizzle 40 leading
there was
to
exactly
a MAGA to think a foreign-born citizen can become president.
There was exactly one
You okay, Dan?
slot for that.
Don't touch the red wire, Dan. Someone call a drive.
See?
What did Marco do to you, Dan? Under the desk, nice. Him on the floor. I thought Dan was Lil Marco in the corner. Call the Dan ambulance. Nice, it was meant to be. Dan's heavy breathing him.
Okay, so where's Marco? You have to find him, Gavin. He's there.
Bro did his workout for the day.
No, I hit my head on the bottom of the desk. Is the microphone pink or yeah, it is pink.
Dan's got fangirls. Yeah, the older ones don't have that port. Mine is newer and has one, so that was lucky. SNL did great skits on Trump. Have we reached the objectifying Dan portion of the evening? Where's Waldo?
Debates.
Justice for Lil Marco. Chica 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 boom. At Kylie, I'm immortal. Do you remember how many votes Trump lost to Biden by?
I think I do.
At Patty Pixels, it's still light outside.
I'm pretty sure.
Marco was just on your hand.
He lost by 7 million votes.
Beep boop.
I love Tesla.
Marco shows on Twitch, but not much here. Dan
Oh,
debate Trump
maybe it's
himself.
cut off.
TESLUUUR. Is Marco hiding in the comments? Teaser. At Wax, so is Trump. Marco is by the poster to the left.
Okay, now you guys should see it.
Tesla. Marco as in Rubio?
Wait, these are just safety instructions. Is there not a manual for this thing?
Polo. Dan, what would you call a small female person that has done a well? I am convinced Trump only picked Marco for state because he wants to humiliate him on the daily. Marco as in Polo. Damn, do an NPC live? Should be a step-by-step setup once you plug it in.
Nothing popped
Mr. Buck,
up.
his head should hold onto the safety instructions.
Hold on, let me see.
Marco is on your shoulder. Never mind, bad joke.
Computer. Where would I even find it? Nothing popped up. Wait.
Not yet anyway.
Riot Games?
Rawr.
I thought I uninstalled League.
Can you open it up from the My PC in File Explorer?
File Explorer. Okay.
It bleeped, so should be in the bar as a new plug-in. Who's your fav character in One Piece? At Whack, every president uses that, including
Luffy.
Trump. Have you tried reading before? It might help ya. At HKOO Facts. Marco is whispering sweet nothings in your ear. Elgato, come.
I quit League when I started doing these lives. And to be
Encore
honest, I
uncomfortable
only
Marco.
played like ARAM for
At
the
Whack,
past
I
2
know
years
that y'all
anyway.
only think crayon is legally binding, but every prez uses the AutoPen LMAO. At Whack, Trump uses Auto Crayon. For the driver. Fluffy has nothing on Bond.
For the driver. Okay. Okay, I'm on the website. Where do I find the
I
driver?
met Marco Rubio once. He is exactly as you imagine.
Product? What gift is coconut tree? 1 second.
How do you guys want to find out about it when it happens?
Magic rhythm. Flori, I want to find out about it while we're live. That would be
At Patty Pixels,
amazing.
did you pet him?
Imagine the crab rave after that.
I want to tell you what I'm doing to my fence-sitting congresswoman if you have a minute. Might have had a dream you were telling me
Let me
the
set up the
difference between
the
Lucy
stream
and
deck.
Loki, and I tuned out. Find the stream deck page and you should find it at the bottom. Yes. I was fooled once already. Bully Chuck Schumer until his heart resigns. At Kevin. I want to be kissed awake from a long slumber by a handsome prince. That'd be the most legendary crab rave.
Is it a stream deck Neo? Damn, wait, can we get some W's in the chat for Aaron? This is $100.
At Kevin he came over and shook my hand, yuck, while I was waiting in line to vote. He was trying hard. Woot woot. W Aaron. W Aaron. W dude, where's mine? W Aaron. W Aaron. I got a bonus at work. WA. Legend Aaron. WA Aaron. W Aaron. W.A.
God.
Aaron. A.A. Ron. Angela can't say his name right. W. Aaron. At Slary randomly scrolling Reddit and a meme pops up. W. Aaron. W.A.A. Ron. At Adash Ron, congrats.
Hi, Mary.
Save money to flee the USA. A.A. Ron for the win. Dan, do you have a P.O. box?
Yeah, it's in the Discord.
At Patty Pixels, wait, isn't that illegal? I thought they weren't allowed near polling places. You did good, I Ron. Left and came back on my alt account. W. Aaron. It's Aaron. At WAC you talk about Biden's cognitive health but voted for a diaper wearer. "100 feet away from polling places. On the day that it happens, I'll celebrate with some Burger King.
No, I'm going to celebrate with some Oreos. That's going to be what I'm going to have.
No more Oreos. No more Oreos.
Is there any actual evidence that Trump wears diapers? WAA Ron. Angela say diaper wearer again. That's woke. I am gonna get so crunk. It really be your own people.
It really do.
LMAO, are we talking about the demise of the orange one? He'll celebrate with mashed potatoes. BCI heard a rumor he's triggered by them. Everyone is going to have to call into work the next day.
I'm sorry, Ashley. I'm sorry.
Sauron. I've got a bottle of champagne waiting in the fridge. Oreos are the only hard cookie he'll eat. I want to find out by someone dressed as Paul Revere running through the streets. At Ali-N no. They will be so blizzed. Send a request for whenever you have time. No rush, I'm just listening and house cleaning. At Kyangela, people have been sending him mashed potatoes. At Antoine, his ex-staff. 4-star generals, people like that. At Kevin, do Republicans care? It was 2012 elections and right near the door to the voting site. I think there will be lots of sewer slides when Trump finally goes to HE double hockey sticks. I think he'll celebrate with a Diet Coke. Having a margarita because of you. At Patty Pixels, true. At Whack,
send me
because
the
he's
bill,
a
Ashley. I'll
narcissist.
pay for it.
He needs attention. You think it's for you? At Whack, I also grammar good. At Ashley Dawn, taking notes, lol.
Okay,
I like your haircut.
I downloaded.
Mega, that is. Oh dear.
I'm also overstimulated.
I am
Sid.
overstimulated.
Hold on, let me turn off Angela just for a couple minutes. I downloaded the Steam Deck. Where's my sub badge? Where is your sub badge? You are a sub. How's your day going? It's going okay. Where's Angela when you turn her off? I mean, we have a nice break room here. No, I liked it. I'll turn Angela back on once I get some words in edgewise. Oh, okay. So it has It has a little like the time and date at the bottom. That's so cute. He's in the good place. When Dom Dan calls us his sons. Oh God. It's a pretty sweet little tool. Alec for president 2028. 2028 might be too soon. Maybe maybe like 2036 after
Thanks, Obama.
after
Thanks,
8 years
Obama.
of after 8 years of President Dwayne Johnson. Sid, thank you for the sub. Oh wait, were you not a sub? Oh, thank you, Sid. I think Dan would make a great governor. I got to move to a smaller state if I want to like become governor or senator or something. Florida elections are so fucking expensive. Can you program Stream Deck to randomly relocate Little Marco? That's a good question. And are you a fan of the leftovers? I mean, I do eat leftovers a lot. I said good, not great, bro. Wait, Antoine, I don't know what we're talking about anymore. I'm getting overstimulated. Angela's not even on. What type of peripheral did you add to your PC? I don't know what that means. We've lost the plot. By the way, I misread peripheral as a very similar word. Dan, you should run in Arizona. Talking about the Stream Deck. Oh, okay. Your hair is on point. Thank you. Okay. All right. So we got the Stream Deck application. There are some apps. 7 items. I'll be honest, I don't know what I'm doing. Leftovers is probably the best show about grief ever. It's so good. Random action? Create folder, switch profile, multi-action. Wait, Aaron, do you want to come up and walk me through this? Click request up. There should be a TikTok live app. You have to request me. There, I sent it. Thank you, Carla, for the roses.
Yo.
Hey.
Hey. So yeah, there should be a TikTok live application, and basically anything that you have within. I'm not on the TikTok live app, so I don't really know.
Thanks, Obama.
Yeah.
Thank you,
But you
Ashley.
should be able to take any action that you have in that app and put it on the Stream Deck.
Okay, but I don't see the TikTok live application. It's almost like there's a button for apps.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I have to double click it. I see. I was single clicking. I have to double click.
Oh,
Okay.
you gotta double click. Sometimes even triple click down. It's a joke.
Okay, well, now it's showing me when I double clicked, it's showing me
Oh, so you're just seeing what the Stream Deck is seeing. So I think it's on the left-hand side. There should be like where you have apps alongside.
I don't see anything on
Hold
the
on.
left-hand side.
Let me
I'm sorry, chat. This must be very boring.
Now I teacupped. Give me 1 second.
Here, that should help. Dan, I would watch a 24-hour stream of you staring into the screen. Well, I appreciate that.
So you should see a thing in there for, oh God, I left and I come back to this. There should be a plugins option on the toolbar.
Plugins. Okay, hold on. Okay. Plugins option on the toolbar. Navigation. Plug. I do not see a plugins option. So, oh wait, there's a page 2. Nope, that didn't help. Okay, so when you say toolbar, do you mean the thing on the right with all the words, or do you mean the 8 boxes?
The thing on the right with all the words.
Okay. So I see. Multi-action switch, random action. Then navigation, create folder, switch profile, previous page, next page, go to page, page indicator. Then soundboard, play audio, stop audio. Then stream deck, timer, brightness, sleep. Stream deck, Streamlabs desktop, scene, mixer, audio, record, stream. I can't click on any of these. They're like grayed out.
Oh, wow.
How old's your motherboard?
I don't think you have that old of a computer, Dan.
It can't be that old. Hold on. Hold on. I'll find out how old it is. 1 second. Yeah, 2021, like I thought. So 4 years old. My motherboard is a... Nope, I take it back. I don't know which of these parts is the motherboard. The graphics card is an RTX 3080. The processor is an AMD Ryzen 9. I don't know if that helps.
There are more actions button on the bottom right corner.
More actions on the bottom right corner of what?
They're the Stream Deck application.
So like on the... let me press settings for a second. Oh, okay. Plugins is in... There is a section in settings with plugins, but it says select a plugin and there are none.
Okay.
Maybe I have to create an account.
I don't remember having to create an account. Yes. Okay, hold on. See, I'm looking at a YouTube video right now, and like he already has like YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, like already in there, which is weird. Like he started like that.
Hmm.
This is a good stream though. This is good stuff.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Is there a power button? No, I don't even see a power button actually.
Okay.
I mean, so what it has right now, it actually has some interesting buttons right now.
Okay, Stream Deck Store. We're gonna have to look for that. Maybe it's back in the actual. Hold on.
You have to download the Elgato software for the Stream Deck. I have that. I'm looking at it, but I can't do anything with it. All it's showing me is the 8 buttons that they have pre-programmed. Right now, the 8 buttons that they have pre-programmed are apps, links, emojis, tutorials, undo, redo, show desktop, and screenshot.
Okay, so you'll need to create an account. You have to go to Elgato Marketplace.
Elgato Market. Elgato Marketplace. Get started. Chad, am I about to get scammed? Show what it looks like on your screen. I don't know if I want to, because I don't know if I'm going to leak something by mistake. That's the only problem. Okay, I'm going to connect with. Let me connect with. Bitch. I should just. Or no, I'll connect with Google.
Yeah, this is what we were looking for. I'm going through it right now.
Okay. First name Dirty, last name Dan. United States. Select currency. I've read the privacy policy. Confirmation email has been sent.
Hate those.
Unknown currency. I love all the inside jokes on these lives, man. Okay.
Like how much are the trucks, Dan?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so now I confirmed it. I pressed plugins. Okay. OBS Studio, is that one of the plugins we want? Or
Are you still using OBS, or are you just going straight? Or you still are because you have your multi-streaming, aren't
I'm
you?
multi-streaming. So I'm using both OBS
Okay.
and TikTok Studio.
So yeah, you'll have to download that one.
Oh, Corky Prime, I need you to do cable management on what I got going on down here, honestly. This is not okay. Okay, so OBS. Oh, I'm lagging. I don't know if it's the Subway surfers, but I'm definitely lagging.
Looks fine to me. My end.
Dan Malik is doing all this just for Republicans to win the midterms. Dan Malik is watching Subway surfers for Republicans to win the midterms? Bro, do you ever read what you type out? Subway surfers was lagging? Yeah, I saw that too. Okay. So apps. I thought I downloaded it. It opened Stream Deck, but it didn't do anything.
Does it not add it to the side? That sidebar?
I don't see it anywhere.
Go back to the YouTube video.
I'm sorry, chat.
Hit the install button on the OBS on the marketplace.
I did that, yeah.
Okay.
Oh. That work this time? Oh, okay, there we go. OBS plugin installed. All right. So now that the plugin is installed, all of the things that it's showing are still grayed out.
So that you're supposed to be able to drag them. Oh, no, wait, maybe you need to. Crap, hold on.
Yeah, it's all still grayed out. Amazing television. What did I miss, Barbie? What's OBS? OBS is streaming software. It's how I stream on YouTube and Twitch.
Oh, when you tap on the OBS studio icon, does a little drop down thing happen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you grab, it should be the record button. Just grab that and put it over onto this to the virtualized Steam Deck.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Now we're cooking with gas.
Okay, but we don't need record.
We don't need record. That was just for.
That was just okay.
For,
All right, it's still waiting, so it's loading.
Okay, and then it should show up on the actual Stream Deck.
Yeah, no, it has showed up on the Stream
Okay,
Deck, but
perfect.
it's still. No, it's got the spinny
Thinking
circle.
about it.
Okay, yeah, it didn't look like I could drag because it's grayed out and it's like a red,
Right.
you know, the red circle with the line through it. But
Yeah,
I was able to drag it.
you have scenes all set up right with an OBS.
Well, I only have 2 scenes. It's just the regular scene, and then it's that one.
Your face.
Yeah. I should set up other scenes. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah. Whenever we had our set up, because I had a podcast with 4 people on it, and I had a close up of each one of our faces and everything, and then all a 2 shot, and a full shot, and it was a whole thing.
I can't believe there's still 150 in here for this. Oh no, caffeine. There are 15 people and 135 people sleeping. Let's keep it 100. Okay.
They're all here to learn about how to
Hold on.
work a Stream Deck.
Laughing emoji if you're awake. Crying emoji if you're awake. All right. Fuck, I'm lagging. There you go. See. I want to see how many sleepers are in the chat. Resident sleepers. Still wait. It says waiting for settings. Still spinny circle on Steam Deck. I tried pressing it and it was just like a exclamation point. Can't believe Dan still thinks there's a Nobel Prize. Oh my god, anti-bubbles, not this again. A clean third is awake. Yeah, that's not bad. 50 out of 150? I'll take that. I would watch Dan if he was watching paint dry. Aw. You guys are so sweet. 7 people sleep voted. No, I actually said both options are for if you're awake. Playing Contexto and listening. Oh, Slary, did I get you addicted? All right, 52 awakened. Awakened devil fruits.
Dan, this is a dumb question. Did you check for updates on the Stream Deck itself?
How do I do that?
It should be in the Stream Deck application. It should be a gearbox in the top right.
General, check for updates. You're up to date.
Gotcha. Never mind.
I'm awake for approximately 47 more minutes. Yeah, it's still a spinny circle. I mean, I could try adding other stuff and see if that any better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Try adding this one of the scene buttons.
Okay, scene transition. Is that what it would be?
Yes.
Now that one also has a spinny circle, but instead it says waiting on OBS. How do I check if I
think
have
that's
a
what
Stream
I
Deck?
think that's what it is that you have to connect OBS to it. Hold on, I'm looking right now.
Okay. It could also be that I just need to like not be doing this while OBS is streaming.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, like maybe if I just did this off stream, it wouldn't be such an issue.
Yeah.
Whoever is playing Subway Surfers is actually bad. I just pulled up an hour long YouTube video.
Just an hour? What a quitter.
Okay,
I think
hold on.
that's a thing, Dan.
What's up?
I think that's a thing that you can't be streaming while you're
Okay.
setting it up.
Okay. Well, in that case,
Go to preferences.
where is that?
Oh, I know. Let me see where he grabbed it from. Pull up that gearbox again. It's in there. That preferences.
Okay, I was
Or is
about
there
to
a
write.
little? Is there,
I was about to write the most unhinged comment. And I just backspaced it. Okay, you said go to the gearbox.
I think it's the actual little the little person next to the gearbox.
Oh, the little person next to there is no little person next to the gearbox for me, unless you mean my account.
Never mind. It is the gearbox. So clap on the gearbox, and then also go to accounts. The accounts tab.
Okay, add an account.
Maybe you're gonna have to add these accounts anyway, but we're just kind of.
It's only giving me 3 options: Streamlabs, I think it is different than OBS, Twitch, and YouTube. The only 3.
You should have a plus. You should have a plus icon in the corner.
Yeah, that plus icon is only giving me 3 options. Those 3.
Gotcha. Okay, profiles.
Profiles. There's default profile.
Okay.
Oh, and then
That's
it says
just where-
application. Hold on. Stream Deck will automatically switch to this profile when the Stream Deck window is closed and the following application is in the foreground. OBS?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if that changed anything. Do it, say it. I don't think I can. I don't. It's too unhinged. It's too unhinged.
I think this is just different things. Yeah, this is just different profiles for if you're doing something different.
Oh, okay.
All right, Dan. It's been forever since I've played around with mine too. I haven't had that podcast in years. I have a tip for anybody who wants to start a project. Do not start projects with third-party friends. They will take it from you. Go to OBS.
Okay. I'm in OBS.
Scene selection.
Scene collection?
All right. Do you have any different profiles in there?
I don't think so.
Okay. I'm just kind of going through this with this guy right now. Good stuff.
Yeah, Miles, I did hear about that.
I still think you can't be streaming while you're doing it. I think I remember that being a thing.
That makes sense. Okay, well, yeah, we can put a pin in this till tomorrow.
Mhm.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming up and helping
Not a
out.
problem.
Also, I appreciate the Stream Deck.
You're welcome. Like I said, do not look at that XL version. I think even that XL version is ridiculous. You think that one's got a lot of buttons? That one's got 32 buttons. But I've seen those, like they use them like in like large church entertainment stuff. Yeah,
Okay.
but like so many things going on with that one. Yeah. All right. You want to drop me down, or should I drop myself down?
No, I got you.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And you got to keep these videos up while you debate. You guys like these? Okay. I know it's not been a long night. I wasn't really in the headspace to debate tonight. We did get through a lot of news. We did get through a lot of news, which is cool. And at the very least, we plugged in the Stream Deck, which is a big development. I just know that playing with fancy slime could fix me.
At Anti-Bubbles at 100% as
I
I
gotta
said
eat
nothing
something.
about banks or Nobel Prizes, yet you brought them up.
I gotta eat something.
At Anti-Bubbles TBH, I don't think anyone knows what you're on about.
No, Anti-Bubbles is
Perhaps the biggest
talking about a
development we've ever
debate we
seen.
had like
Dan, play the
4
sound
or
one
5
time.
months ago.
This is an island surrounded by
At Anti-Bubbles, you still
water,
here?
big water.
Have you been eating good, Dan?
At
Some
Anti-Bubbles,
days.
do you need an adult to assist you?
Oh, right. We have somebody wanted to come up and talk about something.
I wish I was a bucket of colorful goo. At Anti-Bubbles, sober up, buddy. Being tennis racketed. I am here.
Oh, Scott. Okay. Okay, let me turn off Angela.
At Anti-Bubbles, can you call your mom to pick you up?
I just don't get what he has against Bubbles. Where is my hydraulic press smashing random things? You ever cover that senator that was caught with the thing setup thing? We covered it very briefly yesterday. Check out the breakfast burritos I put in Discord food. For good, not a lot of work. Well, breakfast burritos implies eggs, and I cannot afford eggs right now. I'm gonna wait until they are a reasonable price. Wait, Mod Chat has some funny things going on over here. I gotta read this later. Message requests. What was I doing? I was bringing up Scott. Okay. Cheese man, yeah. You shush. I'm not, Ange, I'm not reading it out loud. Imagine buying eggs and then getting the egg ick. The egg ick. I used to get the egg ick, but I don't anymore.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Doing all right. So first off, I think I should start off by flexing on my egg game because I happen to have a lot of eggs.
Okay.
So that's one incubator, and then these are the ones that we just pulled out. So we got those. Those are all the chicken eggs, and then walk you over. These are the goose eggs.
Oh my god, Twitch and YouTube cannot see this. I'm so sorry, Twitch and YouTube.
But yeah, no, I just I wanted to come up real quick and
Shauna, thank
talk
you
to
so
you
much
about
for the
what,
you're amazing. Thank you so much, Shauna. Sorry. Go
about
ahead.
what's been going on with my congresswoman. So I live in Washington's 3rd congressional district, and our congresswoman was one of the 10 congresswomen that decided to vote to censure Al Green after the joint address, right? So, you know, I felt compelled to look more into her voting record, And I knew that we lived in kind of a battleground district. It flips back and forth between Democrat and Republican. So I started looking into her record a little bit more, and I realized that she is voting basically 70% of the time with the 2 Republican senators from my state, despite being a Democrat. And I was like,
wait, I'm sorry.
Weird.
What state did you say were you in?
Washington State.
The 2 Republican, you mean congressmen?
Or sorry, yeah, Congress.
Okay, I was
people,
going to say.
Sorry, House of Reps. So we have 10 total. She votes with the other 2 literally 70% of the time. And so I started like looking into the individual votes. And a little background, I'm a federal worker. I'm an environmental scientist. I'm probably going to lose my job in the next couple of weeks or get moved to a different position, but that's neither here nor there. So I have a little bit of a vested interest to see how my congresswoman's like voting and what she's doing to protect like my job and human health and the environment and all that sort of stuff. I'm also a small business owner. I have a small farm. And so I was curious. So she had her aides come out to our district, and they had a office hours sort of thing. She wasn't there, but I went and I sat down with her aides for like 45 minutes, talked about all the issues that I saw and what I'd like to see the congresswoman doing. And what I presented to them was this. I am understanding that, like, given that she doesn't just represent me, my values, and I'm super far left, she's not always going to vote the way I want her to vote, being in this battleground district, right? She wouldn't have won if she was a far leftist. But I do want her to explain her votes on certain things. Like there's this House Joint Resolution 61 that basically limited the liability it removed EPA's regulations on tire manufacturing facilities. And I was like, why in the hell would she support removing regulations from a tire manufacturing facility, right? Like It doesn't make any sense intuitively to do that, because obviously those regulations were put there for a reason. So I went and I was asking about these sort of things. They had no answers. They promised to get answers. They've yet to provide them. So then she had a town hall, and I went to the town hall, and her format was pre-written out questions. And they hand selected the ones that were going to be the most innocuous and least controversial for her to answer. And she basically left immediately afterward. So it was almost a Republican town hall, like we've been seeing across the country. So what I put to her staff was this. There's 2 paths forward. She's either going to start publishing her rationale for each of her votes with supporting documentation in the full text of the bills that she's voting on, right? The underlying research, everything. Like the sort of stuff that you bring to everybody that you talk to. You look into the underlying research and the studies. She's either going to start providing that to her constituents through her Facebook profile and her public-facing website, or I will do that for her. I will go through all of her votes. I will look at her voting record. I will look at the full text of the bill. I will highlight the most objectionable pieces of legislation. And I will opine about what I think her rationale could have been given who her donors are and everything else, which I assume she probably wouldn't like that much scrutiny on how she's voting. So I've given her this choice essentially to, I talk about that, or I will. And I've also set up a meeting to meet with my county's Democratic Party to talk to them about this plan, because I think that we need a little bit more oversight in how she's choosing to vote. And I encourage everybody else to do the same, whether they're Democrat or Republican. I think people need to pay more attention to how their representatives are actually voting, what their rationale is. If it's a horse trade, like some sort of political horse trade, and you promised your support for a certain piece of legislation because they promised support for yours. Tell us about it. I want to know about all of that. I don't think they should be doing these deals in the dark anymore. I know we need to get money out of politics, and that's like a large part of it. But I think more transparency and having to actually rationalize the way you're voting on each vote, not just the ones that make headlines, but each individual vote is important. Because if it's not important, then why the hell did you vote that way? Right. So that's where I'm at. And that's my plan to try to influence my local representative. I think, there's a shot that maybe it adds a bit of transparency. And so I'm going to be building that website and that Facebook profile in the coming days and weeks and publishing every last move that she makes because I think it's important. I think it's worth doing.
I like that a lot.
So that's all I wanted to share with you, aside from flexing on my egg game.
Well, yeah, I really appreciate that.
Yeah. It just you feel pretty like ineffectual as a normal citizen, like you don't really have a say unless you're Elon Musk or some big money donor. But I can be super fucking inconvenient, right? I can be the most inconvenient person in her district.
Yeah,
and
for real.
And I don't talk to whose support were you trying to gain for whatever piece of legislation that you find meaningful. I think that's if we all had that level of scrutiny on our elected representatives, it would make it really hard for them to make those backroom deals. And so that's my path forward. I hope other people have the time and the inclination to do the same, because I think we could really affect change if we are all doing something similar.
All right. Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. And I appreciate you coming up.
Yeah. Thanks, bro. Appreciate you.
Can we get some W's in the chat? Hey.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. I have also been battling it out with our local senator. We it's gotten so bad. She wouldn't host town halls for the longest. It got so bad that they started holding protests and putting up missing persons flyers for her around town. And then she wanted to give the appearance of having a town hall. So she had a donor event on 314. They officially announced it online the day before, and they called it a town hall, but it was hosted by donors, and the only way that you could get in is if you had bought tickets. So when people tried to show up to her quote unquote town hall, they were turning people away at the door because they had to purchase a ticket in advance, and it was like a pay per plate advance event that she was promoting.
That's not a town hall, that's a fundraiser.
Exactly. And so we have, since she won't host a town hall this Saturday, we are actually hosting a town hall at her alumni at the university that she graduated from in our area. And she has been formally invited.
Is there any way? It sounds like there's a TV on in the background, or
that is probably my child's Kindle. 1 second.
Nobody missed her.
Let me turn it off.
Strange. On the bright.
Sorry, my kids fall asleep listening to audiobooks.
Aw. They're just like me, for real, for real.
It's my 5-year-old listening to A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking. But my our town decided if she wasn't going to host a public town hall that we were going to do it in her stead. And so we have thrown a town hall. It's at her alumni university, so she can't pretend like she's never been there or doesn't know her way around. And just in case she doesn't show up, we made a cardboard cutout of her.
I love this.
And we're going to live stream the event with our local Indivisible and 5051 chapters. And we're hoping she shows up because we have a lot of questions. One of the really big problems in our district is that we are kind of at the epicenter of a lot of military bases. And we have a ton of veterans here. And she championed the building of a new VA hospital in our area before everything that happened this year. But now what has happened with the federal hiring freeze and all of the executive orders is our area and the federal government has spent millions building this new VA hospital, and they can't open it because they can't hire anyone.
Wow.
And they're firing workers at our VA that they knew was already overrun because they built a second VA hospital to handle the patient load. So, like, we knew that we didn't have enough people at the current VA hospital that we have. And now they've started firing people there. And in addition to that, we have an empty hospital in town now that's just sitting there that they can't staff and they can't. And I don't know. And they're not reporting on it locally. Like, we've gone to the VA hospital to see if the place is open. We have gone to our local like news outlets and stuff like that, and we're trying to figure out what's going on because this hospital was supposed to be open. And every time me and other veterans have tried to go over there, the doors are locked and the lights aren't on. So it's clear with the hiring freeze that they have not been able to open, but nobody, and her especially, she doesn't want to talk about it. But she's still saying that she is a veteran and that she's here to defend veterans and still voting in line with this administration. And it's driving all of us nuts. I don't care about her political party. It's the fact that she continues to get on stage and fundraise and say that she's here to support veterans and fundraising on a platform of like being a nurse and a veteran. And she's still voting along party lines for this nonsense. Is driving us up the wall. But yes, so if your local senator is not hosting a town hall, I encourage you to host one for them and invite them. And if they don't show up, embarrass them, because that is what we fully intend to do. We've also been having protests outside of her office every week, and we just found out that she's been sending one of her aides from her office to spy on us. And now we've figured out who the spy is, and he doesn't know that we know that he's a spy yet. And we're going to get him. We haven't figured out how we're going to get him yet, but he's been coming in pretending to be one of us, and we found his LinkedIn profile, and he works for her office.
What you do is you announce some kind of information that you want her to have, but that's a false piece of information, right? I don't know what that information would be, but like you can use your knowledge of them being a spy to your advantage.
We know he's a spy because he's been coming to protest. Like, he came to our women's march. He's come to the 5051 rallies. He's been hanging out at all the protests outside of her office and like helping pass out snacks and water to protesters and saying that he's a member of these groups. And someone thought that he was acting suspicious. And so they started looking him up on social media, and he scrubbed most of his social media accounts, but he didn't, the little profiteer couldn't get rid of his LinkedIn. And we found him on LinkedIn.
That's
And
so
now
wild.
we know that he has to be a spy. There's no way that somebody from her office is showing up to these protests just for their own personal giggles. So yes, that is this woman is insane. it has gotten to the point with us. Not only am I going to vote you out, I am going to knock doors for whoever your opponent is, and I don't care what party they're in. I do not care. Whoever is running against you, I am going to volunteer to help them
Definitely
win.
primarier.
This is ridiculous.
Alright.
But yeah.
Thank you, Political Clips, for the hand heart. Thank you so much.
That is my spiel, my babble about what's going on in our district. I am hoping that we can get a local reporter to pick up about what's going on at our VA, so that we actually have a substantiated news article about the fact that this VA is just sitting empty. Because I don't like, they're talking about fraud, waste, and abuse. I don't know what's more wasteful than an empty VA hospital that they have spent the money to build.
Absolutely.
So, and then of course I am also a volunteer for MOP. I sent you all of our stuff.
Yeah, money out of politics. I saw the message. I just got around to reading it, like when you requested, because I forgot. I get so many messages. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
When you have a chance to check out the website, you're more than welcome to. We also have a Discord
I
server.
did pull it up here instead of the soap video. I don't know anything about the organization yet. I just pulled it up, but if it's for money out of politics, then I am for it.
Yes. And so we've partnered with American Promise, and we are trying to get a constitutional amendment passed, essentially. The way that American Promise has chosen to get this amendment passed has not been done before. They are trying to get each state Congress to pass an agreement to ratify, and then go to the federal level, get the amendment passed through federal. And the reason that they're going to the states first is because of what happened with the Equal Rights Amendment, where it took so long
Yeah.
to get the states to ratify that by the time it was done, it was pointless. So right now we have 23 states, and we are pushing in Pennsylvania and Texas. So if you're in either of those states, please volunteer for American Promise. They are doing amazing work. And then together with American Promise, we're holding the March for Integrity in July. And the Citizens United thing has got to end. I don't know if you saw, I can send you the link to the report. But Open Secrets put out a report about how our political landscape has changed over the last 10 years since Citizens United, and it is, you can imagine that it's not pretty.
No, I mean, just let's look at the last 10 years and what's happened. Just,
Yeah.
you know, without even the Open Secrets report, but I can only imagine, yeah.
The Open Secrets report that was just put out is pretty damning. So, but yeah, that is what I do. This has got to give. There is no way. And for someone, especially in our district, to stand up and say, hey, I'm a healthcare provider and a veteran, and I am here for you, and then to continue to capitulate to this administration's BS is insane. Because she said at the beginning of this administration, because she's on the committee for Veterans Affairs, she said that she would never give in to cuts to the VA, and here she is voting for it.
Yeah.
So that's my spiel. Thank you for letting me up. Have been lurking for a long time. Forever a lurker, finally following you and engaging. But thank you.
Thank you so much for coming up, and thank you for participating in what we're trying to retain as a democracy. So I really appreciate you.
I will send you videos and pictures of cardboard cutout senator this weekend. I'm sure that will be.
I would be happy to see them. Yes. All right. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
You too.
Political Clips, love your vids, Dan. Thank you so much. I saw the one clip. I don't know if you got that clip by screen recording, but all the VODs are up on YouTube. And last night's VOD has a ton of wild guests, so have at it. Hey, YouTube perv. MAGA still claiming to back the military and vets, but not screaming about this is gross. They don't care. They don't care about anything. Except they don't even care about themselves, unfortunately. Like, they care about two things. They care about their cult leaders. And I say leaders because it sounds like Elon Musk is worming his way into that. And they care about hurting the people that they don't like. Thank you, Ali. Where'd the microwave go? We upgraded it to avoid sexual assault allegations. We're in the middle of a hostile government takeover. I want to talk about it, but I'll be late. I don't know what that means. What do you mean you'll be late? Oh. Okay, got it. Got it. Sorry. Yes. I didn't think the chat would be that slow. No, the chat got it. I was the slow one. DJ, run that track. No, we went through the whole live without playing any copyrighted material, and it's really annoying having to remove it on YouTube afterwards, so thank you, Anti-Bubbles. I appreciate that. Can we listen to something? Let's listen to Angela for now. Actually, before we do Angela, there's, I don't know, like 20 people on YouTube right now, like 5 on Twitch, 150 on TikTok. Obviously, these are not the highest numbers, but we are also not doing debates. The people that are here right now, y'all don't understand how much I appreciate you being here. You guys here supporting non-debate lives is huge. We went through so many news stories today. And in depth, we read news stories, not just headlines. And these are more of the types of lives that I want to do in the future, especially if I do end up transitioning out of the job I'm currently in. I'm still waiting to see what happens with TikTok. It's up in the air right now, and I'm doing dishes. But I just want to thank all of you. I don't thank chat enough in general, but like those that are here right now, like y'all are the real ones. So thank you.
Come on, man.
Juan, thank you for the hat and mustache. Also, if Mommy Bear is still here, thank you for the 100 roses. I missed it before. Still ready to do a podcast? We'll get there. If I could just get some confirmation that TikTok's not going to get... Thank you, Juan. If I could just get some confirmation that TikTok's not going to get banned, then I'd be more inclined to...
I love Tesla.
Thank you, Vicky. I'd be more inclined to start transitioning fully from my day job to doing this full time. But if TikTok does get banned, right now YouTube and Twitch isn't even close to being able to pay the bills. So I have to keep doing my day job until America figures out what they're doing with this website. Finally doing laundry. I did laundry yesterday, actually. Oh, thank you so much, Carla. You can have a membership thing on YouTube. Yeah, I gotta figure out what like benefits. I didn't activate the membership thing because I didn't want people to be members without getting some kind of benefit, and I didn't figure out what the benefits should be.
Thanks, Obama.
Thank you, Thaddeus. Now do mine. What is mine? Did you hear about them symbolically ending segregation? Or you mean bringing back segregation? And yeah, hear about it. I'm going to sleep. Night, Dan, and chat. Good night, Slary. Check your DMs when you have time for it. Oh, yes.
I love Tesla. So many electric vehicles. Nobody wants to buy them. I love Tesla. Good luck with your electric car that goes for about 45 minutes. I love Tesla. You want electric vehicles? We'll give it to you when the damn things don't go far enough and they're too expensive. I love Tesla. We have this thing called the gasoline. We have gasoline. I love Tesla. They got some basic problems. They're very expensive and they don't go far. I think they want to keep you somewhere around your home. They don't want to build highways or something. They got some crazy plan. I love Tesla. I love Tesla. So many electric.
God. Thank you, Ange.
I love Tesla.
Who is that? Thank you, Juan. Thank you, Juan, so much. I have good news about Bannon getting owned by my city, but always nervous to go up. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. If you want, you can type it out, and I'll have Angela read it for you if you don't want to come up. But this is we got a good group here. If you're gonna come up now tonight. All right, what was it? I gotta eat. Chad, I keep forgetting to eat dinner. I think the Trump admin. Oh, hold on. Let me rephrase. Not in total, but at a reasonable time. I still eat after the lives. So don't think like, oh no, Dan's not eating. No, I am eating. I'm just being hungry for very long and then eating. Do you think Trump admin is rage baiting? I think that's definitely part of what they're doing. Can someone hit it's all computer? I'll do one free one.
Everything's computer.
Yeah. Hey.
Hi there. I'll just be really quick with it because I'm super shy with big crowds. So this is to the point on how protests do end up working and how everyone should continue to protest. Steve Bannon was supposed to. Do I have an echo? Sorry.
Nope.
Okay, it must be my end. He was supposed to hold a gala in Denver on March 28th, and we protested and we got that shut down. So then he moved it to another city. We found the venue for that city. We called them. We got that shut down. He's trying to move it to another venue. That one's going to get shut down. And it's looking like he's going to have to go to a parking lot, and we are going to show up and protest. So he's like a roach. He just keeps coming back. But anyways, yeah, everyone should keep protesting.
I agree. Thank you so much for coming up.
Thank
you. Did great. Okay. Hold on. We have another guest. Does anyone look at the Target's TikTok page? I looked at it 2 weeks ago, and they were getting absolutely spit roasted. Oh, Nate, I tried to accept you, and it didn't work. Hey, welcome up.
Thanks. Just in response to that last caller, just remember my advice from yesterday. It's okay to punch Nazis.
All right. I agree. Thank you for coming up. Does anyone else like Mentos? I like Mentos. That's my number one, like, breath freshening snack of choice. Like, I keep a roll in my car. Keep a roll my pantry, just in case. Favorite dinosaur and why? Pachycephalosaurus. Because of I like the name. All right. We're gonna do a couple more guests, then I'm gonna go eat. Why is this not working? Marco's being weird. Well, let me turn on Angela while I figure out the Marco situation.
I love Tesla.
Marco is weird. Little Marco. I love whatever ducky from the land before time is just 'cause of her. When is he not being weird?
Question.
Mega is weird. Dan, have you seen the senator asking if Trump's a Russian asset?
Does
Does Marco love Tesla?
No.
One key opens both doors.
Not working.
Mentos, the fresh maker. Can anyone fix the Marco situation? That dinosaur name you said is an STD, Dan.
Pachycephalosaurus?
Ichneuli light blue heart. Not Cephalosaurus.
Oh. Okay, there we go. All right, I got it fixed.
Obviously. Enlarge Marco. Now.
Okay.
That glitch doesn't do you any favors. Watch the video IDMED Dan. Marco seems to be creeper out by you Dan.
Okay.
Marco misbehaving. Excuse me what? Lol. Marco so happy.
Dan, did you make a bracket? I did not. Okay. YouTube and Twitch. No, sorry. Yeah, YouTube and Twitch. I love you guys. But it's time for me to end your lives. We're going to be live on TikTok for a few
Marco
more
and his right angle knees.
a few more minutes. YouTube and Twitch. I
lives.
am going to be ending the streams over there. So I'll start with Twitch.
Dan's ending lives again.
Thank you so much.
Mighty Marco the Narc.
I'll see you guys tomorrow,
Wait,
7
what?
p.m. Eastern.
You can let me back up. Not sure why it didn't work.
Okay. And now YouTube. Thank you
Bring
so
Marco
much.
to the bottom of the screen.
Appreciate all of you.
Rip.
And I will see you tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern. Actually,
Dan trying
technically,
to end lives again?
technically it might be earlier because we do pre-shows. For those who don't know, we do pre-shows on YouTube
Dan
and
went
Twitch
from cooking
where I
August
set up
to
for the
ending
lives.
IDM